Hello, everybody, and welcome to another classic ABCs of RPG stream. We are starting off a whole new adventure, and we are very happy that you're all here to come along with us. I'm Dalton. I'm going to be the game master, or whatever copyright-free version of that term you want to use. And I'm going to be joined by all of my players, Spencer, Dan, Justin, Ashley, and Christian. We're going to go over quick little introductions from everybody if you guys haven't seen any of our streams yet. Spencer, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'm Spencer. Usually I have been the Dungeon Master for our D&D one and Call of Cthulhu. I was the Keeper of Arcane Lore, but Ashley took over the last one, and now Dalton's doing Avatar! I'm very excited. I love Avatar. Ever since I was younger, it's like, I would argue it's one of the greatest shows ever made. So the fact that they made an RPG is really cool. And I'm very excited to get going with it. In real life, I think I'd be a firebender. And Dan.
Oh, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, everyone? I'm Dan. I started off with the original ABCs of RPC stream. Hopped off for a few weeks, so I'm glad to be back streaming once again with the squad. I'm very, 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 very excited to be playing the Avatar tabletop RPG. I'm forgetting words lately a lot. I don't know why.
It's okay. Talking's hard.
Talking's very hard. That's why I'm a writer. Basically, just want to echo Spencer's sentiment. Like, one of the best TV shows of all time, right? I mean, it's fantastic. It's a huge part of all of our childhoods. And in real life, I'd probably be an earthbender. So, and without further ado, let me introduce the one, the only Justin.
What's up, everybody? I'm Justin. We've been playing RPGs for a long time. I'm real excited for the Avatar one. I disagree, Spencer. I think you'd be an airbender. I think we all know it.
That's true. He would be.
Oh,
it would be.
No, he'd be a waterbender.
Nah, Spencer would be. Spencer is Aang.
I am Aang.
I mean, you are a vegetarian.
I am vegetarian. That makes
He's this happy. He's this cheerful, friendly, wonderful vegetarian. The only thing you're missing is like a flying buffalo.
That's right. I don't
airbender.
have a giant bison.
No.
You've got two dogs.
I have two dogs.
I think I might be. Actually, you know what? Really, now that I'm just gonna be mean to myself. Like, I wouldn't have the bending. I'd be like watching everybody else bend, throwing my little boomerang, trying to hold it together, trying to compete. Like, oh yeah, cool. You guys can move lava. I have this stick.
Justin, I feel like
very uncomfortable when it hits you.
Boomerang always comes back though.
It comes back, but it's does it kill you? No, it just hurts real bad.
Justin, I feel like you would at least like try to convince people that you had bending powers. Like you had would come up with some sort of like methods.
Oh, I invented those little like flamethrower bracelets and be like, yeah, firebend. Sup?
Like, yeah.
Oh yeah, I can earthbend. Magnets.
Yeah.
How do those work? Nobody knows.
Right.
Justin,
Miracles.
do the thing.
Julie.
Ashley, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Ashley. My pronouns are she, her. I also grew up watching Avatar. It's very near and dear to my heart. I think I'd probably be a waterbender in real life and do that healing kind of stuff. I think that'd be pretty cool. So, yeah. I don't know. Are we talking about anything else about ourselves?
No.
Yeah, just introduce yourselves.
Christian?
Hi, I'm Christian. Pronouns are he, him. I did not grow up watching Avatar really at all. I know of only seen the first couple episodes, so I'm coming into this brand new to the world, basically, and I'm excited to learn more about it and role play.
Yeah.
Great. Well, as mentioned, we're playing Avatar Legends, the role-playing game. And give the quick little box description of it for everybody, so we can all know what we're getting ourselves into. Avatar Legends, the role-playing game, is a heroic adventure game set in the world of Avatar: The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra. This world is a fantasy setting inspired by Asian and North American indigenous cultures, a land filled with breathtaking landscapes, majestic hybrid beasts, and unique marvels of technology and industry. Yet it is also a world defined by struggle, in which there are no absolute villains or perfect heroes, only people with complex motivations who come into conflict with others while striving to forge a future they believe is best. So, we are all, we got together beforehand and we all agreed that we're going to be playing the Earth and Root adventure from Wang Shi Tong's Adventure Guide. It's a quick little setup that has our heroes being tasked with keeping peace in the lower rings of Ba Sing Se by Rangi, and advisor and close personal friend relationship person with Avatar Kyoshi. I don't know
Yes.
at what point in time the canon takes place and if they were actually dating at this point or not. I haven't read the Kyoshi novels. I'm just kind of going
That's
off
okay, me
hearsay.
neither.
Yeah. I'm not sure either.
I was not aware of the dating histories of the avatars.
I mean, we know
Yeah, that's-
Avatar's date from the shows.
Oh,
They do
no,
that.
they're human beings. I assume they have,
Yeah.
natural
I mean,
desires.
Aang was tasked with repopulating an entire, people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You know,
He got-
that
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aang got busy.
I almost feel bad for. Oh my God, why am I forgetting her name now? This is again the word. we're
Katara?
forgetting. Katara. Yeah, man, she was. I mean, Aang must have been beating it up, dude.
Wow.
But yeah, so to be a little bit more specific, Kyoshi
Thank you, Dalton.
was the Avatar 2 cycles before Aang. In this universe, the Avatar is a person that reincarnates and is kind of like a spiritual arbiter and guide for the world as the world at large. And each
Mhm.
generation, it kind of rotates through the different cultures. When we're playing, Kyoshi is an Earthbender, um, and she's kind of the current Avatar. She's not really going to show up in our adventure until like the very end, because we want you guys to be the
Spoilers.
hero of the story and do the interesting things. And the Avatar kind of like takes over and does all the interesting things whenever they show up, because they're kind of like the main character of the world, I guess, is how it's set up.
Yeah, they're the world's main character.
So I'm going to take you guys. I sent you guys all a link to roll 20 for our campaign, and we're going to go over one of the neater things about setup for Avatar Legends, the campaign creation worksheet. Basically, we're all getting together ahead of time and kind of deciding the scope of the story, what our group is wanting to accomplish, like what their main driving force is, and like how they all met, like what is the thing that brought our group together and got us all in the same room and fighting for the same thing. So we already know that we're playing in the Kyoshi era. That's kind of like the first question. The next question we need to decide is choosing a scope. Now, for this campaign, I think the scope is pretty local to Ba Sing Se. We don't really need to leave the city. All of it kind of takes place there. So I think I'm going to write down that as our scope.
Ba Sing Se.
Spell Ba Sing Se.
Singse.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I think so.
Probably in a book somewhere.
I don't know if that's all like one word or
Yeah,
if there's
that's
a
3 words,
separate
isn't it?
word.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
3 words: BA space SING space SE.
SE.
Just SE.
Yeah.
Okay, we added an extra H.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
So we also need
How do
to
I know that?
Next up, we have to pick a group focus. It outlines a couple things, like a couple options that we have. We can either we're either like trying to defeat a particular person, protecting something, looking to change something, to like deliver something to somewhere, if we're just gonna stick with like making our group focus, the kind of goal of the current like campaign we're gonna play, it's to um, keep peace in the lower rings of Ba Sing Se and rescue some kidnapped children. Those are kind of like the two main things we'll get into when we're playing.
So protect and rescue.
Yeah, that's kind of like the main focus of this. But if we want like the group's focus to be like a little bit bigger or more generic than that, as we're kind of like talking through this, like maybe you're like kind of like a group of like freedom, like peace fighters, and like it's a more generic, just wanting to keep the peace of things, and you got asked, but kind of keep that for now. I'll type in rescue those kids,
And protect Ba Sing Se.
yeah, and keep the peace for now. And if as we're kind of like talking through this, we want to go back and edit it, we can go back in and make some changes. No real rush. None of this is set in stone. I can always hit backspace on things.
Are we cops?
Not unless you want to be.
I don't really want to be.
Okay, then you don't have to be cops.
We could do something like cheesy, like we're like a mercenary band, or
Ooh.
like an odd jobs agency.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be funny if we were like an odd jobs agency.
Yeah. I mean,
We just do like random, like weird cat. Like my cat got lost. All right, we'll help you find him. All the way to like,
We're actually adventurers.
My
for hire.
child got lost.
yeah,
We're actually the cabbage cart. We're the insurance inspectors on the claim for all the cabbage carts that have been destroyed.
Oh my
Yeah.
Business is terrible. We're hemorrhaging money.
I can give you guys a little bit of context about Ba Sing Se at this point in time, and maybe that can kind of help.
that was funny.
At this point in time, Avatar Kyoshi has just kind of put down I think it's the Dao Fei, which is like the generic word for like organized crime in Ba Sing Se. She'd recently come
Mhm.
through and kind of like shattered a lot of like some of the bigger gangs. So it's kind of like a post mafia or post yakuza type situation where a lot of these gangs are a little bit splintered. Maybe some of them are like reforming. Maybe some of them are trying to find new influence or like fill shoes of some of these larger groups that had been disbanded.
hmm
And that's kind of like what we're like the world we exist in at the moment, kind of like a post mafia situation. I could also read the description of the Earth and Root story that we'll be
Yes,
playing.
please.
I think that'll
Yeah,
probably
let's go
help out.
for it.
So now this is an interesting story, and with so many moving parts too. Right now, I'm the little owl guy from the
Watch the
library episodes.
Yeah.
That's the lore is you guys are in the library reading books, and he's like, "Oh, I found a cool book." Anyway, a kidnapping, criminals, Dao Fei, and even the legendary firebender Rangi. Oh my, this promises to be a good story indeed. After studying the bits of history my knowledge seekers have brought me through the years, I must say the Dao Fei are an interesting lot. You can't outright call them criminals. No, that would be incorrect indeed. But I also can't say they adhere to the societal norms of their era. Maybe outlaw is a better term? They seem to have their own way of doing things, and idiosyncrasies within each of their societies, which makes them unique. Some groups could even be considered noble, at least by mortal standards. Well, reader, perhaps you should draw your own conclusions here. I have far too many bits of knowledge still to catalog, to spend all my time dallying on topics you can discover yourself. So,
What if we're a group of Dao Fei?
you could be. You guys could be like an upstart group who's trying to figure some things out, maybe claim some territory of your own, maybe.
Uh-huh. But we're like one of like the nobler ones.
Yeah.
That's kind of my vote. I don't know if you guys have any
We're trying to keep
opinions.
our neighborhood safe, at least.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, that's
So
good.
we're basically like a neighborhood watch with a little bit more authority.
Yeah.
Or like
a little bit of mafia.
We're like a street gang.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm down for that. I'm
Yeah.
down for that.
Like a peaceful.
Really,
I mean,
it's less like. I mean, we
Street
like
gang, odd jobs
self-deputize
agency.
ourselves. Uh,
But
you
we're
know,
the good ones.
Street
No.
We
gang,
the
odd jobs.
baddies.
are we Hans? Are we the baddies?
No, we're the noble. We're the noble Dow family.
No, I like that though. It's like we're on the streets of Sing Say, but we had to kind of like make our own group to protect ourselves and maybe our families and such. I like that. I think that's
Yeah,
good.
so you
Like
guys are kind of
Batman.
more
we
of a
don't kill, but we'll
local,
put that guy in a coma.
like a local neighborhood watch kind of thing. You guys are patrolling. You're looking out for your own, looking out for your neighborhood. We can kind of look at inciting incident. Um, the inciting incident is just kind of a conversation we all have that kind of brings all of our characters together. I know we don't have characters yet, but this is kind of the order that the book lays it out in. And we can kind of use this as jumping off points for some of your characters as you go to make them. Um, the inciting incident is told in kind of like a 3-act structure, and we're kind of like talking it out, kind of like recalling a memory. Um, it kind of gives us a few options. So like Act 1, maybe you guys befriended someone who gave you access to somewhere. Maybe you found some kind of secret. Maybe you like learned of some bad plans. Um, or like maybe you got into like a little bit of trouble. You're trying to have some fun one day, and someone kind of cracked down on you a little bit too hard. And you drew the ire of someone. Um, one of the recurring characters and forces is the Anti-Corruption Task Force. They were set up by Avatar Kyoshi, but is now under the command of the Earth King, I think. They are kind of patrolling around the lower rings, kind of putting down Dao Fei group and criminal activity.
Does he have a pet bear
No,
or a platypus bear?
just a bear.
That's
I don't
like
think it's the same. Earth
200
King.
years later.
But this task force, they've also been tasked with trying to rescue these children that you guys are also going to be trying to rescue. Except they might be being a little bit rude about it, coming down to the lower rings, arresting anybody that they think might even be like tangentially related to criminality. Just kind of like taking any excuse they can to get crime off the streets.
Mm.
Oh man, hardline cops
Yeah,
coming down from the nice part of the city into the slums.
Yeah, they read about broken windows and they were all about fixing them.
Yeah.
What if we maybe we discovered that these children that were part of our community had gone missing? Maybe that's the secret we discovered, and we're like, I want to take it upon myself to get these kids back because I don't trust these guys. They
Look, they're Mrs. Wong's kids. They're real nice.
Yeah.
We're gonna go get them.
So this is happening even before that. By the time the story starts, your inciting incident has happened, and you've already done something to kind of impress Firebender Rangi and have her task you with finding these kids. So this is kind of an even further back thing.
okay.
Oh, all right. I stopped the pickpocketing in front of Rangi using my earthbending skills. They like ripped off some old lady, and then I was like, "What?" and like knocked him out with my earthbending. And then the little old lady got her purse back.
Well-
and Rangi's like,
Yeah, so
My
this is less about that moment, and this is more about like how you guys came together as a group.
"Oh,
And kind of found you guys' common ground and common goal.
can
Yeah.
you guys have seen that and been like, hey, we could probably use that skill?"
Yeah.
In our group of neighborhood watch.
Well, no, I mean we're like from the same neighborhood. Maybe we were shopping for like cabbages.
Mm-hmm.
Because it looks like, Dalton, there's like an Act 1 and Act 2 and Act 3, and they give kind of suggestions for that too, of what we can do. So maybe
What do
originally...
we maybe we go over some of these suggestions and we can kind of
Yeah, I can read them again.
Understand what we're supposed to be doing here.
So, Act 1 of the inciting incident is like same as Act 1 in any story. We're recalling a memory of how we came together as a group and decided that you all want to kind of protect your little neighborhood and keep an eye out for things, and make sure it's a little bit safer of an area. That's kind of what we're trying to figure out right now. Suggestions being you befriended someone who gave you access to something, or just befriended someone nearby. Maybe you discovered some sort of hidden secret. Maybe you did something fun but drew the ire of someone in the process. Or maybe you learned the frightening plans of somebody. Those are all kind of like 4 suggestions they're given. If you guys want to do one of those, or if you have a original idea. Dan, you were raising your hand.
So,
Yes.
Maybe-
it kind of makes sense to me, especially with the I can't remember what you said they were called, but like the King Earth
The
Kings, like
The anti-corruption
Not the
task
Dafe.
force.
yeah, the anti-corruption task force. Like I feel like, maybe, we happen to just be out, right, and we
Mhm.
or like see a scene of like someone on the anti-corruption task force, like maybe either murdering or doing something like really
like
bad,
being corrupt.
Mhm.
being corrupt, right, and like framing someone else, like seeing
Oh,
like
that makes
someone
sense. So
else.
we're like, we got to get those kids before those cops just show up and murder them for funsies.
Well, I was I was thinking, what if we tie in your pickpocketing? What if Dan, your character, witnessed these anti-corruption task force like being corrupt, and then maybe you and Justin, or you tell us, and Justin's character pickpockets them, like we do something fun to kind of like pick on them or whatever, and then that draws the ire of whatever their leader is for this group. So that would be like, we did something fun, but drew the ire of that powerful figure in the process.
Yeah, like you're
Yeah,
describing, like Justin maybe does a pickpocket thing.
Yeah.
And then the rest of you kind of saw that happen, and so did maybe this corruption task force, and they kind of went a little too hard on Justin's character, and you guys all stood up for him and kind of shouted down the corruption task force and got them out of there.
mm-hmm.
Because like Justin, in what you were describing, you were just being a good guy.
Yeah, he was protecting
You were
a
like reverse
pickpocket. He wasn't
pickpocketing.
doing the
Oh,
pickpocketing.
protecting. Whoops.
Did I get that right, Justin?
Sorry, it dropped me for a second.
Oh, you're fine.
What's up?
Wait,
What are we
in your
doing?
like pickpocket thing, you were kind of like
Yeah,
being a reverse pickpocket. You were like you saw something happen and you returned stuff.
yes,
Yeah.
that sounds
So
good to me.
I was saying, like, oh, what if Dan's character saw them this anti-corruption task force being corrupt, got with you, told you about it, so you saw and like protected somebody from being pickpocketed, right? And then that drew the ire of a powerful figure in the process, which could be like their leader or whatever.
Oh, so like the task force is mad at me because I'm doing their job for them.
Yeah, yeah.
That's fine. I like that.
Okay.
How do the rest of us play into it, though?
That's up to you guys. Maybe you there, maybe you're friends with Dan watching, maybe you were kind of like in the circle, like you were around in the market square when the pickpocketing happened, and you saw the anti-corruption task force kind of like step in and start to be like, "Hey, you're coming with us," kind of thing. You can't be doing that. And maybe Ashley, you stepped in and started to say something along with Dan, or what? I don't know. It's up to you guys.
Oh,
Real quick,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure that I want, like, I have this idea for my character's backstory in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to play the pillar. So I think it would be really funny if like my character moved from a different part of Ba Sing Se into like that area of Ba Sing Se, and it was like the first night I'm walking around, right? And I think it would be like really funny, like, I just like some regular guy, like moved with my family, but like I'm just like, I'm the head of a Dao Fei. I'm the head of a Dao Fei on the other side of Ba Sing Se, and one word, and 5-minute walk, and they'll be over here, and we'll fight you, right? Like,
Yeah, like you keep talking
so,
up like how cool you were on the other side of the ring. And
Right.
nobody really believes you, but like you keep saying how cool
Yeah.
you were.
Talking it up.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
think Justin protected you then? Justin like came in and started protecting you from these guys?
Because he knew you didn't need to be arrested because you weren't actually a
Doing it?
threat. Because you haven't actually done
Oh.
anything.
Well, I was saying like the Daofei thing is like a way to get like Justin or whoever the person is that's in trouble, like when we're backing down the Daofei.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Oh, I thought we were
Oh,
backing
yeah.
down the task force.
Task force, I mean, sorry.
Yeah, the task.
Backing down the task force. Yeah.
Okay. Well, going off that, I was thinking about playing like an an airbender, like a monistic earthbender or airbender. I keep saying earthbender, airbender, who's like just like coming in. Like I like to imagine I'm also not from around here and just kind of wandering about like a traveling monk does. And maybe I'm just like witnessing all this kind of happen right now.
Yeah, you're sitting there just like snacking,
Eating some fruit.
eating some fruit. Like, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Uh,
these earthbenders are kind of mean.
Yeah. So, I don't know, Ashley, Christian, do you have anything you kind of want to like add or insert into Act 1 of this story?
I was gonna be a rogue, so how about I'm the one doing the pickpocketing?
Mhm.
Okay.
oh,
That makes sense.
that's cool.
Okay. Christian, you have anything you want to add, or are you kind of like going to be like a bystander and step in, kind of like in the ensuing chaos, or maybe come in a little bit later? Any?
Christian's a member of the task force.
Yeah,
Oh, that might, that's not so bad. Like, yeah, okay, we're like, yeah, we protect this neighborhood. Like, oh, I'm here to like rescue this person. It's like, oh, okay, so you came down like now. Where have you been? We have to police ourselves. Like, we don't see these, you know.
And then right at that moment, he's like, "Yeah, forget this," and just takes off. His
Yeah, starts
Yeah,
like,
and
I don't
like,
know,
I'm a part
Christian.
of the
What are you
Daofei
feeling?
now.
You can just be like a bystander at this point. Like Spencer's character is just kind of like monking around and sees this go down.
yeah, I like that idea. I was looking at being an adamant firebender.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
So results oriented, so that would make sense, narratively speaking. And yeah, at the end of the day, it's just whatever gets the job done.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that.
Yeah. So Act 1, thinking Ashley, you're doing some pickpocketing, just some
Mhm.
like street kid stuff. Justin, you come along, you see this happen, and you're
Mhm.
thinking like, hey, that's not cool. Like we're a community.
Yeah.
We need to stick together, look out for each other. So you kind of you unpickpocket, right? You do a little earthbending trick.
Yep.
Mhm.
And I can write this later. Justin does an
Oh
earthbending.
no, that's okay. I like pop the earth up like in front of
Mhm.
them, and then make Ashley trip.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you don't do that in my community. I pick up the pocketbook.
Yeah.
I hand it over to the woman. Between
But
Rabbit Street and Dragon Street, I protect. So no thieving or disturbing the peace of any kind.
yep. But the task force sees this and starts to kind of like reprimand the both of you.
What the?
They see some pickpocketing, they see some person knocking over someone, and any amount of disturbance is too much for the task force, and they step in, and reprimands the both of you, and they're looking to take you guys in, under suspicion of organized criminal activity.
Stop
I
right
literally
there,
stopped a
criminal scum.
criminal activity, sir.
You violated the law.
Hey, how?
Stop, criminal scum! You violated the law.
I don't.
At this point, though, Dan sees this happening, right?
I've done nothing.
Is what we decided. Dan kind of, you step up, right? And you kind
Yeah.
of like insert yourself into the situation, being like, "Hey, I'm so like you should let them go. I'm so cool. Like you don't even know what the people and the connections I got
Right.
kind of thing."
All across Ba Sing Se, I'm like the Don of the Dao Fei.
Dawn of Delphi.
Yeah, I think
The ring.
Sorry, I just love it.
I don't.
yeah. So you insert yourself by claiming to be a high-ranking criminal and saying that
The anti-corruption task force.
yeah at the
So
task force.
yeah, so just one call,
Yeah,
one wrong move, and you'll have the entire underworld of
Song
Ba Sing
just puts
Se
his
on you.
Song just puts his head in his hands real quick like this. Just okay.
Should I just start rolling now or
no, there's no rolls here.
Song
no
is
roll.
originally from the Earth Kingdom.
This has all already happened. So
I'm laughing
yeah,
in the background.
the task force is like, oh fuck, a whole new criminal. That's three in one go. That's great. Spencer, Christian, at this point, did you guys, maybe one of you stepped in? Maybe Spencer, your little airbendy monkey guy,
Oh
wants to
yeah,
step in,
I'm
or
definitely
yeah?
like taking a step and like I'm gonna blow all their cloaks up in their faces, but
Mhm.
not the group. Like I'm gonna blow everybody else's cloaks up in their faces and kind of keep it flowing, so they're like kind of like maybe distracted. I'm like, come on guys, let's go. That was awesome.
I run. I pick up Ashley's character. I'm like, come on, let's get out of here. It's
Yeah.
not worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I run too.
Christian,
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know,
of
maybe
course, Christian.
maybe you saw that happen and you kind of chase after them. You kind of
Yeah. So my character's off on the side.
Mhm.
Just a flick of the fingers, lights a cigarette, a little tobacco, and sees what's going on with the rest of the task force,
Mhm.
and groans and sees everybody running away and kind of comes to take responsibility here and chase after.
Yeah. Follows them down the alleyway.
Well,
Great.
there's
Okay.
Act One.
So
That's
there's
pretty
Act One.
good.
That's kind of like how the group all came together in this one situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Act Two of the story, kind of some examples given are like they stole something from someone powerful, or you discover like a terrible truth about something, or like you defended an ally from someone, or maybe you destroyed something that pissed somebody off. Kind of like a, I can't say inciting incident because that's what we're doing right now.
The whole thing is the
Yeah,
inciting
the whole thing
incident.
is the inciting incident, but kind of
I
like
would like us to discover that the anti-corruption task force is actually corrupt.
Mhm.
mhm.
That's pretty good. How do we discover that then?
Maybe we
Maybe-
witness. Maybe nothing as bad as as bad as a murder, but maybe we witness like a bunch of like guards just like shaking down a merchant or something, or like coming in and like collecting like protection money, hush money,
Yeah.
whatever, like hey, we take care of your shop, we keep we keep all the crime out, you better give us money, this is your
Yeah.
tax for, you pay our salaries.
What if, yes, we witness more of that, and then we go to like talk to like their boss or whatever, and then we find out, like we overhear that they're being told to do this. So it's corruption from the top.
And it comes from the Earth King.
Oh.
Okay, maybe not the Earth King, maybe like an advisor under the Earth.
Yeah.
There's a named character who's in charge of kind of like the task force. Let me find him.
Yeah, how's everybody else feeling about that so far?
I'm for it. How is everyone? Christian, Justin?
That sounds good to me.
Mhm.
Yeah, at this
Actually, the
point,
only reason I
maybe-
didn't say your name is because you were like the one who
Suggested
said it. Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe like the way that Christian kind of plays into this is he's kind of like coming after us for doing all of this nonsense, and then he's like, "Oh shit! Well, the anti-corruption task force is just as corrupt. So what am I gonna do? I guess I got to take things into my own hands yet again."
is most of the task force earthbenders?
They're
Because
all
like you're
they're pretty much all earthbenders, yeah.
earthbenders. Christian, are you a firebender?
Mm.
So do you think like they ever bullied you or were mean to you just for being a firebender?
Well, I think what happened was that I didn't have a choice. Like I had to kind of play along, but I knew that the corruption was there because otherwise my life or my family's life was at risk, right?
Yeah.
Because they could come in numbers to your house at night. I don't know.
Yeah,
I was worried about
maybe
it.
it's one of your shops is one of the ones that they're like shaking down for protection money.
Yeah, my what are they called? Peddlers. My family like makes shoes.
A cobbler?
God, why did I say peddler?
I don't know. I think peddlers just sell things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Mhm.
they're cobbler peddlers.
They're cobbler peddlers. They're peddler cobblers.
Yeah.
And
You
a cop.
sell cobblers? I don't think you're allowed to sell people, man.
Oh no, it's the Kyoshi era.
No, it's
I don't know,
cobbler
man.
pies.
Yeah.
Oh, he sells cobblers.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Or
Oh,
like fruit tarts.
oh, that's okay then. You can sell fruit goods. Baked goods are
It's
fine
like-
to sell.
Play on words. We make shoes and also make pies.
Mhm. So yeah,
So you're cobbler peddlers? Your cobbler. Yeah,
Or the
your
CCP.
cobbler. Your cobbler peddlers.
mhm. I mean, Christian, there is another group of firebenders that might be interesting if you wanted to not be a part of like the task force, but a different body. There in the
Ooh.
city, there's Ambassador Quinn, who's on like a diplomatic mission from the Fire Nation. It's her children that are kidnapped, and she came along with Ton and Ton's firebenders, who made up like her honor guard.
Mm.
And they were her honor guard is also like on the lookout for these kids, obviously because it's their boss's kids who got kidnapped, and they were kind of also tasked with looking into some of the crime that's happening down in Ba Sing Se. So if we end up, that's also kind of like an option for your character, and one of the
If
groups
you don't
at
want to
play
be
here.
a cobbler peddler.
That is really interesting. If I'm going adamant, it's all about results versus restraint, right?
Mhm.
So I could see a very much results oriented firebender that is like tasked by royalty to
Mhm.
make sure it happens.
Yeah, that tracks.
But
Hmm.
here we are in Act 2. After a couple days, maybe you guys hanging out, getting to know each other. Christian watching from the shadows, trying to get a feeling of what's going on here. You guys are just kind of like maybe you're hanging out at a local noodle shop or something, just
Noodle
getting
shop.
getting some lunch, and the Dauphe, or not the Dauphe, the anti-corruption task force like busts in, and they start to do a shakedown. Right, that's kind of what we're thinking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And they come in, they start demanding taxes, protection money. They start throwing around accusations of stuff. And
Like threats of you don't pay,
yeah.
we stop protecting you.
Yeah.
We're gonna come smash.
We'll
your
let
window.
them know you're behind on the rest of your taxes.
Yeah.
It's a dangerous neighborhood. Mhm.
Mhm.
Shame what could happen.
Shame.
Real shame what can happen. All right.
So we all
So-
kind of see this. We see that they're corrupt.
Mhm.
Christian also sees that they're corrupt because he was watching us.
Yeah.
And it turns out that maybe we aren't that bad. And maybe
Okay.
that's when Christian approaches us. Or maybe in Act 3. I don't know what Act 3 is going to be.
He's accusing the owners of criminal activity. Kind of like the situation settles, and you follow them back, like you follow the task force, back to where they came from. Was kind of what it was. And there you see Yang in the background giving orders, and you think that like he's part of the problem, like he's the high up guy making these decisions, causing people to crack down like this.
Mm-hmm. The captain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Maybe they give him the money that they took illegally from the poor noodle shop owners. So it's not just a couple bad
Mm-hmm.
task forcers, it's the captain that's ordering this.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I have an idea how to start Act 3 then.
Nice.
Rip it, Justin. What's your idea?
Okay. So because Christian has been watching this, he's been watching this and watching us. He corners us in a noodle house one night and explains how we're going to take this. He's going to work with us to take them down because he's noticed that we're really just trying to police our own neighborhood and we're not so bad. So he's going to work. We're going to help him and the city rescue these kids and take down these corrupt, the cops.
I like to think that during this very serious discussion with like Christian's character being like, I'm going to help you take down these corrupt. You're not that bad. Like, you're just kids trying to protect your streets. And I just like, I have like my air glider like staff, like in between like my arms and my shoulders, just kind of hanging out. And I look side to side. I go, I don't live here, but I'll help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen to the little bald kid.
Yeah.
Some of the suggestions for Act 3 are that you fought and barely defeated somebody. You narrowly escaped capture by someone. You kind of saved or rescued someone from someone, or maybe you were saved by somebody, to their own detriment. Like maybe they went out of their way, somebody else went out of their way to help you guys. You found an ally that way. So like, how did you guys initially react to this guy and his task force? You guys are young, you're figuring stuff out, and you want to make an impact on your community, do something cool. What was maybe your guys' like first action, your first direct action? Maybe is what Act 3 could
Maybe
be.
maybe I'm kind of I don't know. Please hold, let me think again. I had an idea, and now I'm
Mhm.
maybe I decide to like vandalize or sabotage their base because I'm trying to take things into my own hands, and the anti-corruption task force tries to capture me, but everybody kind of bands to help us all narrowly escape.
So we stand up to him and then we almost get arrested but get away.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ash wanted to do that by herself, though, right? Like your character did, like went on his own or their own.
I mean,
I was thinking like,
Oh,
I was thinking like we're all there. We see this going on where they're giving the money to the captain after we followed them, and I am dumb and rush in and try to be a hero, and they almost capture me, but you guys all band together so none of us get captured.
Yep. I'm
Or
down
like
to save
maybe
Ashley.
this is where Christian intervenes and then
says,
he
"We'll help
confronts
you."
us and is like, we'll help you take them down, but we have to do this the right way.
If I don't help these idiots, no one will.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. How do you feel about that, Christian?
That works.
Hi, Emily.
Hi, Emily.
Ladies and gentlemen, my wife. Hi, Daisy.
Ew, they're gonna kiss.
Hey.
Gross.
I'll be back in a moment.
Now we have two couples
Gross.
on stream. We can't do this.
Gross.
Yeah. But I'm sorry, Christian, I missed it. Are you cool with that plan? Do you like that plan?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Sounds
cool.
good.
Okay, Dan will be back in like 30 seconds. Won't be
So-
long.
Is that we save Ashley from the powerful figure? So does Yang kind of like, yeah, Yang is there and
Mhm.
everything. So we save Ashley from Yang?
Yeah, so like how it goes, Ashley, you kind of like you take things into your own hands and you go and do a vandalism because
Yes.
you're young and mad and you want to do something
Yes.
to just have some influence on the world, and then you get
Right.
caught, right?
Yep.
And then everybody else comes to your aid.
That's kind of what I was thinking. If everyone else is okay with that.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
And then at the end, when Christian's coming to our aid, he's like, "We got to do this the right way. Let's work together with the the Quinn people."
Actually does a vandalism.
Actually, this is vandalism. Yes, that's what we should call this episode.
This episode actually does. Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na. No, ding 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 ding. Ba-na-na-na-na-na. The gang does a vandalism.
So I'm gonna throw
Gotcha.
a little bit of a wrench into things and
Sorry
say
about
maybe
that,
you all went to help, but it kind of went bad, and you guys all ended up getting caught in the process.
Oh.
Because I
God
want
dang.
to give you guys a connection to another character who will be important called Meng Yao, who's a former Dao Fei, who's been living in the lower ring for a while.
Ally or enemy?
Ally.
Ally, okay.
Interesting.
So you guys all go to help Ashley. But you all and it's caught themselves. And you guys are kind of barely rescued
Mm-hmm.
by this woman Meng Yao, who you guys will meet.
Dope.
Awesome. And now we're all together as a team.
Yep.
Hooray!
I mean, I got roped into this mess.
How does Menyao help us? Or why?
So Meng Yao, we can go over this a little bit later, because there's some like questions to answer about her and figure out, because she's kind of like a bespoke ally made like as a group together. But she's a former Dao Fei. She's been in the lower ranks since childhood, and she kind of recently had a emotional growth moment where she realized that maybe the whole organized crime thing isn't the best, and is kind of like on a similar track to you guys, where she just wants to help out the community and make sure that like kind of people are looking after each other. See if I can find some non-spoiler information about her.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. About 2 years ago, Avatar Kyoshi arrested the Triad of the Golden Wing and scattered the Dao Fei in Ba Sing Se. If you want to learn more about that, you can read the Rise of Kyoshi and Shadow of Kyoshi novels, apparently.
Oh.
The Avatar rounded up most of the Triad, but a few evaded capture, including Lei Feng and Hana, two characters you'll meet later. They went into hiding and slowly started gathering new friends, and to form a new gang. And when Kyoshi's task force started targeting overt criminals, Lei Feng took a mercenary route, kind of like selling their men to other groups, never like kind of taking on direct responsibility for things. And then target those who didn't work, build an empire out of those that remained. And Meng Yao, I guess, is kind of like their current target. Her name is well known in the lower ring, especially among other Dao Fei. She used to be an expert thief and archer, pulling off kind of like really big heists, stealing from the rich, accruing wealth. She did kind of sometimes hurt people through doing so, but she did try to like avoid it. Like she didn't try to hurt people, but sometimes like things happen. But recently she's turned to more vigilantism, bringing down more dangerous criminals, like higher ranking Dao Fei, protecting the innocents of Ba Sing Se from being shaken down. She still sometimes steals, but she shares her gains with those who need them in the lower ring the most.
Robin Hood.
She's kind of become like a little Batman, like local legend Robin Hood type figure.
That's cool that she helped us out. I'd like to propose something. Maybe we're all kind of captured and we see Men Yao kind of come through and start taking out like anti-corruption task forcers, and we all are like in a corner with our hands tied up, and I turn to Dan's character and I'm like, oh my gosh, have you worked with Men Yao before? Because I'm thinking about how he was talking about how he was this like insanely high level Dao Fei, and I imagine he's never heard of her before.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is the weirdest thing ever. How have you never heard of her if you are a high ranking Dao Fei?
No, in that moment, I would probably reveal to you guys, I'd be like, listen, all right, I'm not like actually like a high ranking member of the Dao Fei, but I do have a Dao Fei back where I'm from. Like I am from a Dao Fei. And the other side of, Ba Sing Se, that part is true. But yeah, I'm not like the Don Dao Fei. I just said that. But I do have a group of about 100 men or so, and it's like really like 5 like 10-year-olds. So
Like 5 10-year-olds. You're like Jean Valjean.
yeah.
He's got his Baker Street irregulars doing his Sherlock Holmes
Yeah.
stuff.
Who would you
Yeah,
like?
it's really more like the Warriors, but like minus 15 years for all of the characters.
Nice.
Warriors.
Who would you rather fight? 5 10-year-olds or 150-year-old?
Oh, 150-year-old for
Obviously,
sure.
the 50-year-old for sure.
Well, I mean,
Nah.
how fit is the 50-year-old, right? 'Cause some
Yeah, like this
50-year-old
50-year-old could be like Iroh.
could be like
Hey.
Arnold.
That's true.
Arnold, yeah. I don't want to fight Arnold.
I don't want to fight
Arnold
Arnold.
probably still kick my butt.
He's
Yeah.
like 70.
Like Mike
Yeah.
Tyson?
Yeah.
Or
I
Mike
don't know.
Tyson. I do
I don't
not want
know
to fight
how
Mike
old he
Tyson.
is.
Mike Tyson would
I
straight
wanna
up like
fight Mike Tyson.
one punch. That's
Yeah.
it. Like I need to go to the hospital now because I have CTE.
Your orbital bones are shattered. Like you're not.
But consider the 5-10-year-olds. How many hijinks could they accomplish?
Look,
no.
I watched
hijinks.
Home
I just
Alone.
round.
Wait, case in point, Billy Madison.
Yeah.
You can beat up like 5 10-year-olds with the
Yep.
with a dodgeball, man.
One
Dude,
ball.
honestly,
One
I'm just
thing.
assuming that in this scenario, that's a no bar like scenario, like situation where anything you do is okay, and in that circumstance, I'm roundhouse kicking the 10-year-olds.
Yeah.
Like just one shot straight to the dome, put them down. All right, move on to the next one. Like bring on 100 10-year-olds. Do it.
Oh,
Like,
110-year-olds. That's like a big difference. That's an
that is a
exponential.
big- okay, that is
increase.
I think then I would pick the 50-year-old.
Yeah, I'd rather fight 150-year-old than 110-year-olds, but I'd rather
Yeah,
fight 5
Okay.
10-year-olds than 150-year-olds.
I maybe got a little bit too amped.
Now that
up,
we've been talking about beating up, assaulting
Children.
children.
All right. So at this point, the campaign creation worksheet is mostly finished. I can go back. I'll go back through and like update names and stuff. It should be in your journals in Roll20. I've been typing this all out. If you look in Roll20, and you look in your journal, there should be a campaign sheet in your characters for some reason. It's just where it is. And you should be able to see kind of everything I wrote down and typed up. And if you guys want to make changes, let me know.
Oh, that is in the handbook? That's so cool.
Maybe I need to reload it.
Thanks, babe.
I just clicked show to players. I don't know if that did anything. but it should be in all of your guys' journals.
I see a campaign sheet, but it's blank.
It's also blank for me, but I'm sure we can figure it
I'll
out
figure
later.
it out later.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I wrote stuff down.
I also did too.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So now that
Spencer
we
and
kind
Ashley
of
wrote stuff down.
Yes.
now that we have how our group got together, and like it sounds like everybody kind of has inklings of ideas of like what they want their character to be, we can get on to making each of our individual characters. And this can go in like kind of a various orders. But in Avatar Legends, kind of like the analogous thing to a class is your playbook, and that's kind of shared across a lot of games that use similar systems to Avatar Legends. If you want to learn more, you can look up like Powered by the Apocalypse games, things like Blades in the Dark, Monster of the Week. They all kind of like use a similar system where they describe a playbook, and that kind of gives you like a jumping off point for your character. It includes like a conflict and like what they want to do, how they want to act. Each of your characters is going to pick a playbook, and it sounds like some of you guys already had some ideas in what you wanted to play. If you go into your journal, I did make a character for you that has your name, and if you click on it, you should be given like an option of like playbook sheet, campaign worksheet, or NPC sheet. If you open it up and you click which playbook you want to be, you should then get a specific character sheet for your playbook in Roll20 if that's how you want to make your character.
So where's
This
that?
is
in
awesome.
Roll20?
Thanks for uploading all this. This is really cool. Are we showing what these look like on the stream right now? This is really cool.
Mhm.
People watching should be able to.
Yeah,
The
shout
fact
out
that you can
to
do this in Roll20 is amazing.
Yes. Roll20 is super cool.
shout out to Magpie Games, the publisher of Avatar Legends. They did all the hard work of like putting the cool graphics and scripts and stuff together to make this all available. All free when you're making a new like Roll20 campaign. There's an option to like pick which character sheet is the base, and you just search for Avatar Legends and it should show up. Actually, you've got a perplexed look on your face.
Oh, is it showing up on the stream? Oh darn. I think maybe can't show up. I don't know. Something's not working right for me. But when we go to break, I'll make Spencer come help me do it. But I have a printed copy that I can use.
Also works.
So it's fine.
Yeah, if you don't want to do it in Roll20 and you want to do it like in print or like on your own PDF, there's form fillable PDFs out there. If you guys don't have them, I can send it to you. But what kind of playbooks were we each thinking that we want to do? This is one of the stipulations is that Avatar Legends doesn't really want player characters to overlap on playbooks because each playbook kind of like interacts with the game rules in a very specific way. And if you kind of double up, those characters are going to kind of like be fighting for those same kind of like cool scenes and cool moments. And it'd be better if you just kind of like able to do your own thing. Spencer, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking the Idealist. Their whole playbook is about forgiveness versus action. And I think it really speaks out to me. I can read a little bit more. I had the page open. Sorry. I, along with Dalton, backed the Kickstarter for Avatar Legends. So both of us got like the nice like set of Avatar Legend book and stuff like that. So
My book is cooler.
I
I have the shiny special one.
You do have the shiny special. I just have the standard.
You have a lame
How come
normal
you got
book.
the shiny special one?
I think I paid like $10 more or something.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Spencer, you should have spent $10 more.
I know. I still got all the cool dice and the Washi Tong thing and stuff. Anyways, the Idealist, a survivor of some terrible harm, now struggling to maintain hope and a belief in the good of the world and others. The balance principles are forgiveness versus action. So yeah, so it's all about like, hey, something happened to you. You're kind of like running along now. But like you believe in, forgiving people, but also sometimes you need to take action. I really like that. So that is what I'm doing. The starting stats are creativity 0, focus -1, harmony +1, and passion +1. So, yeah, I also want to be an airbender. So I chose monistic as my background. I chose joyful as my demeanor, and I
We'll-
marked the
We'll get
airbender
to that
stuff.
stuff later.
I'm rushing ahead.
Yep. Ashley, you were piping up before I accidentally interrupted you. I apologize. What were you thinking?
How dare you, Game Master? No, I want to be a rogue. I think that sounds really fun. It kind of says you've picked up some bad habits over the years. But character creation, friendship and survival are the two principles that
Mhm.
you're kind of going through for that one. It just sounded kind of interesting to me. I tend to gravitate towards roguish characters when I play tabletop role-playing games, and it just seemed kind of interesting. So I am excited for that.
Yeah. Dan, Justin, Christian, you guys being pulled any particular playbook? I can go over them, read them out if you guys want me to read descriptions of them.
Yeah. I am going to be playing the Pillar. Their whole thing is support versus leadership.
Mhm.
Um, I was basically just drawn to, they are like kind of like, I guess like the glue of the team,
Mhm.
bring everyone together. I was really drawn to that. So
Yeah. Very cool.
yeah.
Justin, Christian, you guys have an idea of like which playbook you want to do? Do you want me to like read over the options?
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go with adamant.
Yeah.
Um, so essentially, sorry, do you want to go over my unique kind of characteristic with that and
I
balance
mean,
and all that?
that's like the unique characteristic, but like, what is it about the adamant that's interesting? Makes you kind of think it matches your character, or like a little just brief description of what it is. If you don't have that handy, I do. I have a little like couple sentences about the adamant.
Um, yeah. So basically, the adamant is really is only one person they let kind of past their emotional walls, so they really kind of connect with, but outside of that they're very like I meant or like I had said before, results oriented,
Mm-hmm.
and that's balanced with restraint, right, and trying to go against that and kind of open up. So this kind of made sense for me. Kind of having this fiery, you know, firebender attitude, and I don't know, maybe would have worked with an earthbender as well, but kind of having that wall built up, and
Mm-hmm.
that can shift over time
Yeah.
essentially. So I thought that was cool and would work for the story.
Very cool. Justin, what about you? What are you feeling? Are you there? I think Justin's still gone.
No,
Oh.
I had to go dark for a minute.
Oh, no worries.
We
Uh,
My
can't
wife
see
brought me.
you.
Looking
I
over.
know my wife brought me food, and I was eating
Nice.
real quick.
Aw.
So I wanted to go. I didn't want to make people who were watching us watch me eat. That seemed unfair to them. Anyway, so I'm a little torn between playing either the Guardian playbook or the Bold playbook, because so my character is an Earthbender who is kind of taking care of this city. They have a fairly complex background. I did do some of the background reading for this world.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, I guess we can just So he's an orphan, because a lot of the children of the Earth Nation were actually orphaned by the Dauphin, because
Mm-hmm.
most of the Dauphin are not cool.
Yes.
And that's why he's so cool with
the airbender because the leader of this orphanage, this giant orphanage, was an airbender, much to the dismay of the Air Nation. They're not really like big on this thing, but she's like, it's important. So I was either going to be a bold or a guardian because, you know, the bold comes back and they want to like accomplish some things and get recognized for being, you know, more than his humble orphan origins from a parts unknown.
Yeah.
Or I was thinking about the guardian because that one also looks cool.
Yeah. The guardian is kind of like more about like a specific individual within your group that you're trying to look after and protect. So like if there's one of these that kind of like struck out to you as like, oh yeah, what a sweet little guy, I need to protect that person, then like guardian might be a good fit. But it sounds like bold might be better.
Fit. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna play a bold earthbender.
Very cool.
My balances are, my little blurb, where is it? The bold are charming adventurers who know that they're greater than others assume, striving to show their worth. Their balance principles are loyalty and confidence, which are interesting because they're not really like, I mean, it's weird that that's the balance because I don't really feel like those are conflicting principles, but
Yeah.
you know, it'll be exciting.
Yeah, and it sounds like the next step is kind of like formulating your character concept, and it kind of sounds like that's already happening in the back of your minds now that you guys have a playbook. Given like how much role-playing stuff is in your playbook, it kind of like informs a lot about your character and how they act. And it kind of sounds like you guys have that concept kind of like in the back of your minds as we're talking about this. But next is naming your character. If you have an idea of like where your character's from, I have a little table of various names and their meanings and cultures of origin.
Song Easy.
Nice.
Yeah. Songyize.
Great.
And the I and the Z have accents on them.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I would like to know like last names or tribe names for the Northern Water Tribe. And I found a fantasy name generator for Avatar for Water Tribe names. And I know that the first name I want is going to be Kiona, but I don't know what the last name should be.
Yeah, so I have some interesting information about like how the various names are structured, and people of the Water Tribe don't have a surname.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, they are.
Why it's
they're
just Sokka and Katara.
Yeah, their names are structured as like name of homeland. So Bato of the Southern Water Tribe, like who's some Northern Water Tribe people that I don't know. But yeah, you just have a first name and then your homeland, whether it's like the Northern Water Tribe, Southern Water Tribe, the swamps, whatever.
Can I be Kiona of the Northern Water Tribe?
Totally. Anybody else need some name information?
Well, I found out that air nomads are, well, I don't see it on here, but when I was looking up like the same generator that Ashley had, it said that they're typically Tibetan names.
Yeah, Hindi, Tibetan, Nepalese, all names.
Indian.
Usually monk if I am a boy, or sister if I'm a girl. And they live in the north and south air temples. Or monks live in the north and south air temples, while sisters live in the east and west.
Yep.
So I like to think. I think I wrote down I'm from the northern air temple, and I did the name generator, and I picked the name Ting.
Nice. So you are your Monk Ting of the Northern Air Temple?
Yeah.
Very cool. Dan, Christian, you need some name information?
No, I have come up with the name of my character. It definitely is not an amalgamation of Sokka and Usopp.
Good.
My character's
don't want to
name
violate
is,
copyrights here.
my character's name is Soppa. I guess maybe I could use assistance with the last name, or can I just say of Basing Se or Sapa of?
Earth Kingdom people actually have last names.
Okay, all right.
They're
So
normally like
Yeah, our surname, Earth. If you're Earth Kingdom, our surname goes first, and then then our given name.
Okay.
That's why my song is a surname, and easy. So.
they use a lot of like names of precious stones, like sometimes plants or concepts as last names.
Greenstone.
Okay.
I don't know. Is that?
I mean,
Is that?
are you looking for stones that are green, or do you want your last name to be Greenstone? Either works. Greenstone is a good last name.
There's some good ones.
Greenstone.
Emerald,
Yeah.
I like
Emerald.
Greenstone.
Greenstone, Jade.
No, it's just it's
Agate.
just green. It's just
It's
Greenstone.
Greenstone.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bit. It's just Greenstone.
It's that doesn't sound like an Earth name, but
It's
okay.
it's just
Sounds like you
Greenstone.
made up. You from the Fire Nation?
Christian, do you need
No.
some info on Fire Nation names? Or do you have something picked out already?
Maybe last name. If
Yeah.
Let's
Let's
I
see
wasn't sure
here.
if they have last
Fire
names.
Nation
I think-
characters have given and clan names, which act as their surname. They don't usually mention their clan names when they introduce themselves unless it's relevant to the situation or they're trying to show off. Families in the Fire Nation often like to pass individual syllables in their names on to one another. A woman named Zagar might pass a syllable in her name onto her child, naming them Doza or Garun. Some clan names as Abe, Anzai, Banno, Besho, Chatan, Chuzat, Daimon, Date. A lot of like Japanese inspired names, it seems like. A lot of Japanese and Mongolian. Oda, Oku,
Tetsuo.
Tetsuo. Wa,
Akira fan.
Watai.
That's a deep. That's an old cut. It's a throwback right there. And if anybody hasn't seen Akira,
Oh my god.
you
please.
should see Akira.
Watch
It's
or read
awesome.
Akira.
So Christian,
I guess I could.
You
you
post
can be
I
done
think-
with Yoshi.
I don't think I'm gonna go with Uzirdi. Taro.
Awesome.
Okay.
So now we all have our
Taro
names
is
picked
my
out.
favorite kind of milk tea.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. It's a root.
So we
I
all
knew that.
we all have our
She's so good.
our names picked out, so we can move on to like our training and fighting style. Kind of pick the training guys. That's kind of water bending, air bending, earth bending, fire bending, weapons or technology. That's going to be like your training, and then even within that, you kind of like pick a specific fighting style. So like air bending, it has some fighting style suggestions of like defying gravity or like summoning imprecise gale force winds, or like weapons fighting styles. It suggests like acrobatic chi blocking or like a large jade bow. So like
What page is this on again? In
It
the
is. I'll get to it. Sorry.
So like Dan, you'd be your weapon, you would be kind of like weapons training, and your fighting style would be like a large slingshot. It sounded like was what you were kind of going for.
Yeah, yeah,
Page
yeah, yeah.
279, Justin.
Thank you.
Spencer, you're an airbender. We know
I
that
am.
much. Do you have like a what kind of like fighting style? Like how do you normally use your airbending? Like what's your go-tos?
Well, I don't really want to attack that much. I think I'll mostly be like, I don't know. I was originally thinking air cushion because so airbending techniques is on page 286 and air cushion
So
is
that's
like
separate from what your fighting style is.
oh, sorry. Just general
Yeah,
fighting
like
styles?
how do you use your airbending when you're getting into combat?
Oh boy. I like to think I'm very well. I'll use inspiration from our inciting incident. Like I basically like waited I was eating the fruit, and then like when they were about to take them away, I just blew all their clothes up. So
Mhm.
maybe I do a lot of like blowing in different directions. Like that's mostly my
Mhm.
thing. Is just kind of like where that's manipulating objects or blowing clothes away,
Mhm.
like mostly as kind of like distractions.
Yeah. Nice.
I'm not
Dan,
sure
you
how I would say that, but yeah.
Dan, you're kind of weapons with slingshot. Ashley, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna ask what page I should look at for the waterbending fighting styles. Because I see
so
the waterbending techniques is 282, but what's fighting styles?
So that's
I
on
think that's on
117.
122. Oh, 117.
117 gives some suggestions of like the various like training and fighting style. Fighting style
Okay.
isn't really like mechanically relevant. It's just kind of like a short description of how your character uses their training.
I said gusts of wind.
Yeah. Waterbending, some suggestions are like keeping feet on moving puddles of water, wielding weapons made of ice, wearing a suit covered in water skins, like water whips, like just kind of like when you're waterbending, what would be like your go-tos?
Kind of creating like appendages of
Mhm.
water. So maybe like a water whip type of thing.
Yeah. Nice. Justin, what are you thinking?
Tiger style. No, yeah, so I am gonna be my fighting style is versatile. I don't wanna like I don't I think I guess my main fighting style would be seismic
Mhm.
activities. Like
A lot of like
using the earth to
shaking.
like trip people up or trap people,
Mhm.
uh, strike from afar.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I
Yeah.
also want to be able to like create like a little surfboard
Yeah,
we
I
can get out
mean,
into the open
none of this is
plains.
like meant to be limiting. It's just kind of like a little description of how your character uses their training in their own kind of like unique way. It's not like mechanically relevant at all. Just kind of like little description of what your character likes to do. Christian, you're a firebender. I know you don't have as much experience with the source material as the rest of us, but like firebenders, there's a lot of like blasts. Some of them like use their fire to like jump really high. Um, some of them use like precise like darts of flame. Some of them like use like big, large, like overwhelming jets of it. Like what does your firebending look like?
Ooh. Mm. Can it be basically like a conjuration of a fire dragon? I don't know.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, like if
I
you
don't
like
know.
you like to like shape your fire into various into like a dragon and like that feels
Yeah,
kind of
make it
like
more intimidating, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Very
So,
cool.
yeah.
All right, cool. So now that we have our training and fighting style picked out, we can move on to our characters' various backgrounds. Um, background is also something that's not like super like mechanically relevant. It's just kind of like a little bit of information about your character's backstory, like where they came from. Um, there's a few options given in the book on page 118. There's military, where that would be like your Kyoshi warriors or your Iroh, where like you kind of grew up in like regimental military structure, either like as a soldier or maybe like a spy. Um, you could be like more come from like a monastic background where like you were a monk or a nun. Spencer, your character is
Like me.
is,
Yeah.
is definitely like monkey. That'd be like your avatar Angs or like some of the fire sages you meet.
Mm.
Um, or maybe even that one firebender guy who tried to teach Aang firebending at the very beginning. He felt kind of like a monastic loner.
Also kind of like an outlaw too, right?
Yeah. And you can pick, it says say you can pick up to two backgrounds.
Oh yeah.
So you can kind of like mix and match some of these things. You could have been like an outlaw, living outside the bounds of the law. It's kind of like a criminal or a pirate or something. That'd be like Jet in the Freedom Fighters, or maybe like the opera company that Ty Lee came from. Um, you could come from like a privileged background, coming up from like luxury and wealth and status. That'd be like Toph in the Beifong family, or like Zuko. He came from a very privileged background. You can come from like an urban background, like from like deep in the city. Maybe you're like a street kid. Maybe you're like hanging out. That'd be like your King Boomy. That'd be like your Bolins. Um, or what, Ashley?
I was just excited about Bolin.
Yeah. Don't worry, he's showing on the
Sorry.
stream right now. He's right there, like all big in the center. Love that kid.
Amazing.
Or maybe you grew up in the wilderness. Grew up in a town surrounded by nature. Not a whole lot around. That'd be like kind of like your Southern Water Tribe. Like there wasn't a whole lot going on there. It was just a whole lot of nothing.
Ice.
Whole lot of ice. Maybe you go penguin sledding sometimes, or maybe like you grew up in the swamps with like those swamp dudes. Those swamp dudes seemed cool.
Until
They
they
seem
wanted to eat
fun.
appa.
Oh, I think you eat what you can get in the swamp, Spencer.
Yeah, you gotta get what you can in the swamp.
Down in that bayou.
The bending the
It
plants
is not
though,
so
that was-
bad.
I bet bison meat
Kinda
tastes
like
great.
chicken.
I love bison jerky.
Bison meat is really good. I
Yeah.
prefer bison over beef.
No.
For my background, I was going to take two,
Mhm.
military and outlaw.
Ooh.
My kind of idea was that I was a part of the Northern Water Tribe, kind of like guard or military, and I felt like the organized military was also corrupt, so I defected, I ran away, and that's how I ended up in Bossing Say. Because I didn't like how the military was working in the Northern Water Tribe.
I realized that since you guys weren't actually in the campaign when I made a lot of this stuff, you guys didn't have permission to edit your characters because I
Oh.
couldn't select you yet. That's why some people can. That's why Spencer can.
Oh yeah,
edit
I'm
his
not
thing
having an issue
and
with
Justin
my
can-
character sheet.
Yeah. So I just gave you guys permission to edit your characters, and so you should be able
Yay.
to see more than just a blank screen now
Hooray!
if you click on it.
Thank
You might
you.
need to
Ah,
refresh
it
both money.
worked!
Okay, cool.
Now you get to see how cool these sheets are because
Yes, this is so nice.
yeah, you get to click through, but also if you look right below the little block that has your balance and stuff, there's moves, combat techniques, and details, so you can fill that stuff in too. That was something I didn't notice at first because I was like, "Where's like my character look in history?" And it's on their details at the bottom there. So,
So
anyway,
Ashley's got
sorry.
her interesting like military outlaw background. Spencer, you're kind of you said monastic. Were you going to do anything else?
No, probably. I guess I could do a little bit of wilderness too, because like I grew up in the temple, but now I'm traveling. I'm on like a pilgrimage. It's called a pilgrimage, right? Like monks like travel around. Is it called a
Rumspringa.
pilgrimage?
Yeah, you're doing like a Rumspringa thing.
Yeah. So I'm like 14. I'm just like, oh, I'm getting out there. I'm wandering the world. So
You're a child.
I'm 14, old enough. Okay.
Well, you're just a teenager.
I think you're pretty. If like you were raised in the temple, I think that's still
Yeah.
just monastic. Like the
So not wilderness.
wilderness background like says like you grew up in a town or like household
Mhm.
surrounded by nature. Like it's more like how you grew
Yeah.
up. Like since you grew up in the temple
temple,
environment,
that
probably
is-
just
yeah.
monastic.
Makes sense.
Anybody else have their backgrounds picked out that they want to talk about?
Oh yeah, mine's because I was an orphan. I am urban.
Nice.
Yeah,
Classic
I
street
was.
kid.
I'm looking up where it is, but there's one of the air temples that's by this orphanage.
Oh.
And then I moved to Ba Sing Se when I got old enough. So now I live in Ba Sing Se. I've been trying to make this neighborhood safer.
Yeah, I picked the urban.
Mhm.
Basically was from one side of Ba Sing Se. Pops lost his job, so now we have to move to the other side of Ba Sing Se, and it's really no different.
Nice.
Yeah.
Christian, what about you? It sounds kind of like maybe military was what you were going for.
Um, yeah, I think, yeah, being having been trained in that, and then being looked upon to produce results for royalty, um, and being sent out on this mission, I think that made sense. So
Nice. So next up, and these are all just like various like little things. Like you can pick your hometown, where you're from. Um, Spencer, you said you were from the Northern Air Temple. Ashley, you said you were from the Southern Water or Northern Water Tribe.
Northern.
Dan, Justin, it sounds like you guys are both from Ba Sing Se. Christian, somewhere in the
Yeah,
Fire
yeah.
Nation, maybe, or were you kind of born in the Earth in Ba Sing Se too? Do you know?
that's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. What do we think would be?
I feel like you're from the Fire Nation.
Yeah. And I was considering privileged as like another background thing.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to, role playing wise. It's like, okay, so why do I, have emotional walls built up, right? Was it that I kind of was born into royalty or politics, and that like, I had to just be, you know, fake, right?
Mhm.
and and not actually let people in most of the time. So I guess yeah, I feel like that would be more Fire Nation oriented. I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. So like maybe you grew up as like a wealthy elite in the Fire Nation capital.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Great. So your hometown. I can find the name of the Fire Nation capital. We literally just did the quick start that took place there.
Yeah.
Sure did.
Fire Nation capital, also known as Capital City or Imperial City. These guys are so good at naming things.
Oh, really, really intense.
Real cool shit.
Classic.
So it sounds like it's just the Fire Nation capital.
That makes sense though for the Fire Nation. They're very like pragmatic about stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's our capital? It's the capital.
The capital. Duh.
God. And then I believe
This
each
is city by the ocean. This is city on the mountain.
Yep.
God, would you like not hard to name things?
Next up would be your demeanors. Every playbook has let's see here, 6 demeanors listed. They're kind of like the ways your character tends to behave in social situations or when they're under pressure. You can choose a couple of those options or make up your own if you're not seeing like your vision being represented there. But they should be in your playbook. Let me see if I can find.
I would like some input. I want my demeanor to kind of be that I don't know, kind of like in the I want things to be better and they're corrupt, but I act kind of
Mhm.
I don't know, without thinking because of that. So I don't know if that's like cynical because I don't think any organizations work, or if that's more like extreme or wild, maybe because I don't really think before I act.
So do you have impulsive? I'm not looking at your character sheet.
I have acerbic, joking, cynical, sly, extreme, or wild.
I guess that'd be wild.
Yeah, I would say
Pick if I had to pick from those.
How do you think you'll play them? Hey, a wild child.
Thinking, acting before I think is kind of what I'm leaning towards.
Then yeah, I say wild.
Yeah, we'll call that wild.
Who wants to pick their demeanors next?
I'll
Spencer?
go.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead,
no,
Spencer.
Dan, you first. You spoke first.
I think I'm gonna do lighthearted. Does that have like a description of, or is it really just like?
No, it's literally like this. The word is the description. Like this is just kind of like how you tend to act. Like,
Yeah.
one or two
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. So there's 6 different options for the pillar. It's confident, lighthearted, critical, stern, gentle, warm. I kind of thought it'd be funny to do critical,
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know. I thought it'd be funny to do that, but I'd rather just be lighthearted.
Yeah.
Like at the core of it.
Mm-hmm. You're more than welcome to
So-
pick more than one if you want, and like you can even change it later. Like if you think that your character goes through something that like affects their demeanor,
Yeah.
you're totally more than welcome at any time to add, remove, or change any of your selections.
Sweet. I will keep that in mind.
Anybody else want to go next?
Oh, I'll go.
Yes, go ahead, Justin.
So my demeanor is going to be enthusiastic, affable, and impetuous. I generally cool, but when it comes to doing, I really want to just get it done.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how that's working.
Nice.
I think my main demeanor is joyful, but I think I'm also going to be pretty compassionate and earnest as well.
Mhm.
Just like pretty much like pretty forefront with like a lot of things. Like I genuinely want to do the things I say I want to do, and I'm
Yeah.
pretty upfront about it. Yeah. So
Nice. What about you, Christian? See here, what's your playbook again?
The adamant.
The adamant.
So I have chosen perfectionist.
Mm-hmm.
Again, results oriented. Chilly as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of goes into standoffish is kind of described as being, closed off and chilly as well. So I
Yeah,
guess
like those
that
kind of
too.
seem like synonyms to me.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm a bit distant. I'm not that friendly.
Yeah.
And because that's just kind of how I was raised. But I do connect with one of the PCs here. So.
Nice.
aw.
Cool. So now that we all have our demeanors picked out, there should be a section in your playbook to kind of like describe your look, kind of like what your character looks like, what kind of clothes do they wear, like how do they do their hair, what kind of like colors do they like.
Oh,
we-
I'll go first. I already
for
did
it.
this. So Easy is large and stocky, more tan skin, black hair that's tied neatly back. They wear simple clothes of tan and olive, and they're about 25.
Nice.
I also did
I haven't
mine.
decided if they're male or female yet. And I don't. Oh yeah, I guess I did because I used boys' names. So, all right, this dude, he's got a neat beard,
Oh,
trimmed
that's
up, real nice,
Very cool.
simple but clean.
So, I did find out that Ting means slim and graceful because a lot of the airbender names have like their meanings behind each of the names, which I thought was neat. So, but yeah, Ting of the Northern Air Temple, he is a 14-year-old boy. He is an adult in his mind, by the way.
Mhm.
So, but he has a shaved head. He's wearing like the normal like air nomad clothes, but they're probably a little bit roughed up. He's been traveling for a little bit, so they're not like clean as they could be. And he's kind of short. He's like 5'5". He's not a tall guy. But he that allows him to kind of blend in when his air nomad clothes doesn't like stick him out in the crowd. So yeah. That's how I think about Ting.
Ashley, Christian.
I let me go back here. I wrote that I have brown hair, blue eyes. I do wear Earth Kingdom garb to kind of blend in.
Okay.
Small, not like smaller in stature, but not like average for a female. So like 5'3", 5'4".
Mhm.
And hair is just kind of down and loose. There's nothing super, but like a little top knot on the back of it. So like I guess half up, half down a little bit. But I'm trying to blend into the Earth Kingdom.
Nice.
Yeah, I have no idea what I want my character to look like.
I mean, if you're thinking like
Welcome.
you're from the Earth Kingdom, you probably wear like earth tones, like shades of like olive greens and forest greens and like some tans and khaki.
Yeah.
Like probably just like a normal earthbendy guy.
Pastel yellows.
Yeah. Like you just Google Earthbender or Earth Kingdom guy.
They all wear
Right.
the exact same thing.
Yeah.
There's
Right.
like everybody wears kind of some shade of green and yellow.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I figured as far as clothes, I mean, as far as like distinguishing like features or anything like that, I have no idea.
Fashion is not a thing in the Earth Kingdom.
You have like how old your character might be? Like are they younger, middle aged, older? Like
Younger. I would say like maybe 16, 17.
okay.
Only a little bit older than me.
Yeah.
And
Little
I was
rivalry.
gonna make mine like 20. Is that too old?
Nope. I'm 25.
Okay.
We talked about this earlier. Everybody you lose the right to exist after like 24. That's just too old after that.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Christian, like we were saying, like firebenders, they wear red, they wear like sharp, pointy red clothes.
Yeah.
If you want to like
Um,
Ashley, she's kind of wearing like Earth Kingdom clothes to more like blend in.
Yeah, it's interesting. I did have a question
Mhm.
about like looks and kind of like the world and everything.
Yeah.
Are there any? Would it be appropriate at all for any tribe to have tattoos?
Oh yeah. There's definitely tattoos. And I can definitely see that.
Spencer
Like,
probably has a shaved head with tattoos.
yeah.
Well, I,
I
guess.
don't think-
Okay, yeah. Sorry.
I don't think I'm an airbending master. You only get that if you're a master. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Have
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
That's
is that what that is?
No, I didn't even realize those were tattoos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You get your tattoos when you become a master, and part of becoming a master is like inventing a new technique. Aang earned his tattoos by inventing the air scooter.
Yeah.
I thought, yeah.
That's the best move.
Yeah.
And then like there's some of us haven't watched Korra, so I can't talk about how various characters in Korra earned their tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know if my character is worthy of that yet.
Well,
But
that's
you're
just
a
the
firebender.
airbending nation. You can have firebending tattoos, like just to have tattoos.
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, yeah. So my idea was my character basically half sleeve, right?
Mhm.
Has firebending tattoos up to elbow. But underneath that it's actually to cover fire burns on both arms
Mhm.
from
Oh.
conjuring and mastering. That was a sacrifice.
Yeah. Very awesome. Is that everybody for their look? I think so. So next up is in the history section of your playbook, there's a few like history questions for you to think about. You don't necessarily need to answer all of them at the moment, but just kind of like think about them going forward. They can inform a little bit about your character, and maybe if you want to like bring up some of it when we introduce our characters fully to everybody else, might want to bring that up. Read through those, come up with some answers for it. They can help you find like a motivation for your character, kind of like what they're after. That's kind of like what the first question is. And the next two are kind of about NPCs that are important to you. So when you get those answers, let me know, and I might be able to like incorporate them into the story. Maybe they'll show up in various ways. And then the fourth question is like some like special object or symbol that belongs to your character. Something like maybe Katara's necklace, or like Christian, even like your tattoos that cover up your scars could be relevant. And then the fifth question is about why you're committed to the group. What is it about the group's goal and focus and like demeanor that keeps you coming back and like committed to everybody you're with?
I've got a question.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the questions on my sheet is, what is my favorite possession that I stole, swiped, or otherwise acquired illegitimately?
Yeah.
And I want to know if it can be an animal.
Yeah, sure.
And if so, can it be an animal I can ride, or should it be like a pocket pet?
I do not care.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Thank you.
I think whatever sounds coolest to you. But
It's definitely going to be something I can ride.
next up, some important bits on your character sheet. You all have stats. Each of your playbooks have like an individual like preset stats. I like some +1s, some -1s, or +0s to your 4 stats of creativity, focus, harmony, and passion. They're all kind of like, they make sense by what they're named. Creativity measures your ability to think quickly and unconventionally. Your focus is your character's ability to perform under pressure and stay like precise and skilled. Harmony is your like character's social sensitivity, like how empathetic and open they are to those around them, like how well do they feel what others are feeling. And passion measures your character's like intensity of their emotion, like how hard do they feel things, how like open and outbursty are they maybe. So in addition to all of your predetermined stats on your playbook, you also get to add +1 to any of those 4 stats, as long as I think you can only raise a stat to +3 by choosing a special move that increases the stat to +3, so you can't go above +2 on anything. I don't know if any of the playbooks start with +2 and anything already.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Like mine as the idealist, I'm creativity 0, focus -1, harmony +1, and passion +1, which I think is pretty standard. It's like a 0, -1, +1, +1.
Yeah. So Spencer, you're able to add a +1 to any of those 4.
I'm choosing harmony.
Yeah.
So I raise that to a +2. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody feel free to mark another +1 on your stats if you want to. If you have like a special reason that you want to say why you're doing it, feel free to speak up. But if not, we can kind of move on to the next little bits of your playbook.
I want to add +1 to harmony, just because.
Nice.
I'm gonna do +1 to passion because it seems fitting for my character.
Yeah.
I also saw that on balance it says at character creation I can shift my balance once if I like.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So I would like to shift my balance once towards survival.
Yeah, we can do that next. So you can see on your playbook that you have a balance track. The different playbooks are all pulled between 2 different ideals. The idealist, Spencer's playbook, is pulled between forgiveness and action. And at the start of the game, you can kind of set your, I should just say you set your center at the beginning, or just like where it's at. You know?
It says that at character creation you can shift your balance once if you like. So I think like.
So not your center, but you can just move it in one direction or the other.
that is what it says.
Cool. And that's if your character is coming in with like already feeling one direction or the other, you're more than welcome to move it one little tick in one direction or the other as we go. But that's kind of like what we've got for the role playing, kind of like character building. There's some more stuff about like choosing your specific moves and like your fighting techniques and stuff. But we can do that either kind of like off stream in prep for the next thing because they're not super relevant for this bit. And I want you guys to take a look at each of your classes has like a big keystone ability. Like Spencer is the idealist. You have like never turn my back.
Yeah.
That can inform quite a few things. Like you always have a code. You have to choose 3 different ideals.
Mhm. Which I did choose mine.
Yeah. So if you each want to take a look at that keystone ability, we're gonna take a little break. Come back. We'll go over like our keystone ability, and that'll pretty much be it for like what matters for this character creation. And we can introduce everybody else, and we can pick our connections and move on to kind of setting up the beginning of the story. If that sounds good with everybody.
Yeah.
That's great.
Cool.
Okay. Cool. We will be back in about 5 minutes. Hello, everybody. We're back. We took our little break. We thought about some character stuff, and we're ready to get right back into it. We just picked our stats. All of our characters have now moved on to like their playbook moves and features. Each playbook has like one big interesting thing that kind of like informs a lot about the character. Let's see here, like the bold, who Justin is playing. They have their legacy of excellence. They pick out a few different things that they're trying to accomplish, and they get like a little bonus when they accomplish those things.
If I do all 4, I have to make a new character.
Really,
Yeah, I am fulfilled as an adventurer, and I am done.
that's awesome.
What?
Yeah,
And-
it's so when all drives are struck out. So the way that it works for our viewers is I have these 4 goals I pick, and then each time I do it, I cross it out. If I cross out all 4, my character is satisfied with their adventuring and is done. Done.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So it's kind of cool. I actually really like that. I was like, oh, awesome. I might be able to make a new character. This will be fun.
In addition to your keystone ability, there's also a list of additional moves on your playbook, and you pick 2 of those, and those kind of help inform a little bit more about your character and how they interact with the world. All the players are going to do those just kind of like over time. There's a lot to read and a lot to go through for a lot of them,
Mhm.
and a lot of decision making, and we kind of want to move things along. I would ask that you guys fill out your keystone ability at this point, because that can maybe like inform a little bit about your character.
You get the keystone ability is that in the combat techniques?
No, so
No,
that's like
so-
your
I think it's
legacy
the-
of excellence.
Oh, that's my legacy excellence. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I already took that. I got mine. In case anybody's curious, I have to take down a dangerous threat all on my own, openly outperform an authority figure, save a friend's life, and defend an inhabited place from dire threats.
Nice.
Yeah, like Christian's is the lodestar. Yeah, like you were just saying, yours the like legacy of excellence.
Mine is sorry.
Go ahead, Ash.
Mine is bad habits. I have to choose 4 bad habits I indulge, which is casual thievery and pickpocketing, vandalism or sabotage, trespassing, and daredevil stunts. And I get different buffs if I indulge a bad habit on my own, and if I indulge a bad habit with a friend.
Mine's never turn my back. So I pick like 3 out of the list of 6 things of like that's like my code, and I strive for those ideals.
Mine is squad leader. So it's really actually really interesting because when I get these actions or do certain actions, So I picked 2 out of like, what was it, 6? So I picked empathetic and guidance. So if I guide and comfort someone and they open up to me, or if I assess a situation and give a companion instructions based on the answers, right? I get 1 team point. And then I can spend a team point to then do a number of different like support actions. So the 2 I picked were invigorating and bolstering, which invigorating, you rally a companion and you can clear 2 fatigue, which seemed pretty good. But bolstering is one I'm very excited about. It's a +1. It's just +1 after the roll. So
Oh,
Nice.
Ooh,
that's great.
That's good.
yeah, right. So
Yeah. So next up, you'll also see on your playbook a section for connections. You'll have 2 different connections, and we'll fill those out in a little bit once everybody's introduced their characters fully. Once everybody kind of like goes through their characters, make sure you look at your connections and you're thinking about those when you're hearing everybody else's characters. Some are pretty relevant. Like I think Christian, your like keystone ability, the Lodestar, is one of your connections. Like it's someone that you feel comfortable like opening up to. Next up, you also pick some combat techniques. For this one, we're just gonna start with a single master technique. There's a big list in the back of the book. Why not? We can pick 2. Who cares? We'll start with a single mastered technique and a single learned technique. There's a whole big list of techniques in the back of the book. We don't need to go over them just yet. If you already have an idea of what you wanted to take, you're more than welcome to write it down. But we'll kind of go over the combat stuff as it kind of becomes relevant later. Right now, we're just kind of wanting to get the story up and running, if that makes sense.
That's page 279 or 280 that I was talking about earlier. And I thought that's fighting styles. No, that's actually techniques. So
Next up, you'll see on your character sheet a section for your growth question. It's kind of like how progression works in Avatar Legends. At the end of every session, we ask ourselves some questions about the character, like whether they learn something about the world, or so and so. There's 3 different like default questions that everybody asks, but each playbook has their own unique growth question that they'll always be asking themselves at the end of every session. So like the pillar, Dan, at the end of every session, you'll ask yourself, did you help a companion find significant success with their issues or lead the group to finding significant collective success? That's kind of like what helps your character grow and becomes better than they were yesterday. So now we are on to the introducing our character phase. Unless anybody has any questions they want to ask me or the group. Sounds like you guys would have some fully formed mostly formed characters at this point, ready to introduce to the group. So I want everybody to make sure you give one last look at your connections before we introduce everybody. And if anybody wants to go first and introduce their character, they're more than welcome.
We're making our connections as we're introducing characters.
Yeah. So like you're Ashley. You're looking at your playbook
Yes.
and you see your connections, and you're kind of
Yes.
like listening for people that would fit those descriptions.
Okay, great. Sounds good.
I can go first.
Go
if
for it.
everybody's cool with that. Yeah. So I'm Ting of the Northern Air Temple. I already kind of described myself. I'm a 14-year-old boy, shaved head, air nomad clothes, kind of roughed up, 5'5". He's pretty young, he's pretty small, but I've already talked about my background being a monk. I definitely grew up in the Northern Air Tribe, and now I'm kind of traveling around. I'm joyful, but I'm very like compassionate and earnest. I may, we're probably still getting to know each other. I haven't revealed everything, but some of my history questions with the idealist was like, what tragedy befell you at a young age? Who do you hold most responsible for the tragedy? Who helped you through your grief? What did they teach you? And then what symbol heirloom do I carry around to remind me of what I lost? and why are you committed to this group or purpose? And I probably won't give all the secrets just yet because I feel like Ting might be a little bit like keep this a little bit close to his heart till he's ready to reveal. But there's definitely a reason why he's traveling around now and at the Northern Air Temple, and he seems kind of whenever anybody asks him questions about why he started traveling, he deflects. He usually kind of like talks about something else or says like, "Why don't we eat fruit?" You know, like clearly not wanting to talk about it. But whenever you do ask about what he did before this, he often speaks highly of a traveling Earth nomad named Jin Jade, Gyin Jade, who traveled around with him for a little bit. She always seemed very happy and like free flowing like him. Think of the traveling group from the Secret Tunnel episode of Avatar.
Mhm.
It's kind of fun and loosey goosey and stuff. If anybody has seen, I don't wear this or anything, but maybe you've seen a Earth Nation headband among my things when I've been traveling around. And I am committed to this group, though. I've made it very clear that like the reason why I'm traveling with everybody is because I do want to protect other people. I get really whenever I hear somebody may be in trouble or might get hurt, I'm very quick to be like, well, we have to stop that. We have to help them. Like it's our duty to do that. And yeah, that's Ting, a little bit of Ting, you know, like we were saying as the idealist, my balance track is forgiveness versus action, so that's going to be kind of my struggle. My connections are I recognize some of the pain I felt inside of somebody, one of you guys. I'm going to try to help them. I don't know what I'm going to do for that one just yet. But I know the second one. I think it's going to be Ashley's character, Kiona. Did I say that? Kiona? Because it's Kiona. What's that?
Yep, you're right.
Kiona frustrates me so much when they act without thinking about the consequences. Because are her pronouns she, her?
Uh-huh.
She just leapt in to attack, what was it, Yang? Yeah, to attack Yang and got us in a lot of trouble. So I think it's definitely, I think my second connection is definitely going to be Kiona, but I'm not sure of my first one just yet. So
Yeah, let's while we're introducing our characters, let's hold off on doing the connections because you never know what you're gonna hear.
Sorry. Okay, I can change that.
Anybody else
go
want to go
next.
next? Ashley, you're up.
Yeah, I can go next. So I am Kiona of the Northern Water Tribe, pronouns she, her. I am a rogue. I originally enlisted in the Northern Water Tribe kind of guard or military. So I did that kind of because I'd always really been acting out. My dad wanted me to straighten up, put me in the military, did not like the confines of the military. I also felt like they were a little corrupt, so I've gotten a bit cynical about everything. And I just want the world to be a better place. So I defected because I didn't think that being a part of the military would be a good way to do that. So I defected. I left for the Earth Kingdom because I thought that would be the best place for me to blend in. There's a lot of transplants in Bossing Say. So I do wear my Earth Kingdom garb to kind of try to blend in. And I just kind of I felt like I was kind of forced into breaking the rules because when I left, I had nothing. So I kind of had to do what I did to survive. And I also don't really feel bad because I feel like I'm kind of when I am breaking the rules, usually it's involving people that are also corrupt or that I think deserve it. As far as my history, my captain in my military unit actually always held a kind hand out towards me and kept trying to guide me back towards the straight and narrow, but I always rebuffed them. And that was because my dad would do anything to break me of my bad habits, and I wanted nothing to do with that. I just wanted to rebel. I feel really attached to this group because I think that organized governmental institutions are all corrupt. I'm very cynical about it. I want to make the world a better place, but I'm also young and dumb and think anarchy is the answer. And last but certainly not least, My favorite possession that I stole, swiped, or otherwise acquired illegitimately was my steed, a buffalo yak that I stole from the Northern Water Tribe Guard. And my buffalo yak is my best friend. So,
What's its name?
Buffy.
Nice. Anybody else?
Buffy the Corruption Slayer.
Anybody else want to go next?
Yeah, I can go. My character's name is Sapa Greenstone. You know, a lot of he's like a warm and lighthearted guy. You know, he's just your average run of the mill, you know, guy. He really you know, he uses a slingshot, right? Or just, you know, shoots people with stuff. He just grew up on the streets. That's where his training is from, you know. Just shooting random things, right? Um never like really a big part of any, you know, had like a group of like friends who were younger. But you know, just kind of a regular guy. Always, you know, always trying to like build things up, right? Or, you know, making big stories, but um he had to move to the other part of the city of Ba Sing Se because his dad lost his job. But what he doesn't reveal immediately is that his dad was actually in a Dao Fei and got like captured. So so his family had to move to like the other side of the city. So that like they didn't come after like his family. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So
Very cool.
that's about it. I'm trying to think. Was there other things that?
No, that should be good. That's plenty.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Sweet.
Justin or Christian?
Yeah, I'll go. So I am Song Yizu, and I am here in Ba Sing Se because I came here after I left the orphanage. My parents were killed by Daifei or Daifo.
Dao
Defo?
Fei.
Daofei. Daofei. They were killed by Daofei, and I was raised by this benevolent airbender named Ming Tun, I think, over by the Eastern Air Temple.
Mm-hmm.
And so I returned to Ba Sing Se to make it a better place. I'm doing this because I'm really self-conscious about being an orphan. Gonna prove myself. And the haters wrong. And I want to be like Avatar Kyoshi. My little trinket thing is a homemade copper shield that I made. My own little like badgety boo. Symbol of my authority that doesn't exist.
You're you're deputizing.
You myself,
image?
Deputized yourself.
Yeah, I deputized myself. Whatever. Batman can put on a mask. I can wear the little fake badge.
There you go.
Whatever.
It's not like it's an official thing anyways. You made it up.
Yeah.
It's your own
Right.
symbol.
Yeah. And so I'm dedicated to this group because they're trying to make Ba Sing Se a better place, and I'm good with that for right now. And we're holding on to connections, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Christian, you're last up.
Yeah, so I am playing Uzuri Taro. Uzuri is 17 years old, with a sharp and pointy face, with short black hair. I grew up in a strict household ruled by my father. My father pushed me into military as the Fire Nation's military advisor. So he was a military advisor and desired that stay within our bloodline. My late mother was my original guiding star, but her fire burnt out somewhat recently. Like my tattoos, I hide most beneath the surface, but I know that I must rebel from my household and find another lodestar on my way to right the wrongs of my father.
It's poetic.
Yeah, very cool. I like fire. Fire. You used a lot of good fire words. Firebenders love that.
I tried.
So now we're on to connections, and this is kind of like a collaborative process. You're kind of like, if you have an idea for like who you want a connection to be, make sure you kind of like ask and say, yeah, does this sound good to you? This is kind of what I'm thinking, because they kind of have an effect in both directions. If anybody has any immediate connections they want to shout out, like I know Spencer, you had an idea for
I did.
Ashley's character.
Kiona, I think I'm still good with that, but I want to make sure you're okay with that too.
That sounded fitting.
Okay.
Sounded very fitting.
I'm going to get very frustrated at you.
I had one right off the bat as well. I would like Uzari to be my first connection. Uzari is way too uptight, too trapped in themselves, and they need to break some rules. And I feel like I see a lot of myself in Uzari since we both have some daddy issues and were forced into the military. So I want Uzari to loosen up. So Christian, are you cool with that?
Yeah, sounds good.
So for one of my connections, it's Blank. Seems like they would have been a good candidate to be part after them. I'm thinking because like my squad, it was like 5 10 to 12 to 14-year-olds, right? Like younger kids. I'm thinking Ting would be really good because he's like the youngest, right? And he's very good, like very, strong in his principles, right?
Yeah.
Very strong, like the no harm or anything like that. I feel like, but also like, don't take this the wrong way. Also like probably a little naive, right? Probably
definitely.
like very much willing to believe like Soppa's lies. So
yeah, I go along with it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say Ting for that.
Nice.
I need a little bit of help with my second connection. Blank is amazing, and I hope they like me. Maybe they're worth playing it straight. I'm split between Justin's character
I think that's awesome.
and
You think I'm awesome, and you want to join my band of good.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. I also thought Uzari might be good, but I already have Uzari as one of my connections.
Yeah, I would definitely
So I
say
feel
make
like-
the connections to different people.
Cool. Justin, how do you spell your character's name again? Song?
You can just call him Song.
Song, okay.
The first name is actually when I was pronouncing it wrong, but Song is fine.
For my second connection, I have kind of an idea. Blank doesn't really respect my accomplishments. They probably need a lesson or two. Actually, I was thinking of your character since you're the rogue.
Mm-hmm.
Like you probably could sniff out the BS.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, yeah, sure. You did that, sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm good with that.
Okay. How'd you spell your character's name?
Keyona.
I like that two polar opposites. Like I'm just over here like, you got him.
Yeah.
And Kiona's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, like you did not find an island made of goldfish poop. All right. Like,
No, but what else would they poop out? What else would the fish poop out?
that's fine. That is a blatant One Piece. Like that's a One Piece reference. I'm sorry. It's from like I'm like Ichiro Oda. Please don't be mad at me. I've been reading the manga. I love it too much. I'm sorry.
Maybe Soppa's been reading some like old tales or been hearing old tales about some pirates on the sea and sailing and all of their weird adventures, and maybe he
there was a collapse of the Fifth Nation, which was just basically this naval, like it was like a moving slash, nation that just got taken down. So that's actually in lore. There might be all
Really?
sorts of weird stories about how the pirates. Yeah, it's in the lore. One of the things that Avatar Kyoshi did was take down this giant pirate fleet.
That's cool.
Cool. How do you know so much stuff when we always do these campaigns?
I read the book.
I
Oh, did
didn't
you read
know
the
which
Kyoshi
book.
novels?
No. It's like it's like in the player manual. Like this is
Really?
I haven't
like,
gotten
readily
through all the
available.
actual
Yeah.
lore bit yet. That's
Yeah,
that's
interesting.
there's like
cool.
a whole Kyoshi era. I just read the Kyoshi era bit.
Yeah.
I would have known more about like whatever. I don't know anything else about the other eras, but yeah, there was like this big pirate nation, and they got taken down. And they're still like right now. They're actually so if we were doing kind of a more open campaign, we would have to be worried about
Mm-hmm.
pirates while we were out
Yeah,
on the
That's
ocean
cool.
that makes sense.
because there's like large boats or fleets still that are not part of the main fleet. But yeah.
This is cool.
Anybody else still have some connections to make?
Oh, I have to make my connections, but I don't know if everybody else is gone.
I have not.
Sounds like
You
Justin
want to
and
go,
Christian.
Christian?
Yeah. So one of mine, I felt was pretty easy. Is my lodestar is going to be Ting.
Oh,
Something about them makes him the one person I let my guard down around.
aw.
I thought that was fitting. And I'm stuck between Song and Dan's character for that character takes issue with my methods. Perhaps they have a point, but I certainly can't admit to that to them. So I wanted to get your guys' input there.
Whatever you're feeling, buddy. I believe in you.
None of this is set in stone, by the way. All of this is free to
Yeah.
change at any time.
Okay. Well, I can just go while you're thinking about it, Christian.
Sounds
Mull it over
good
for a
for that.
second. My connections are Uzuri scoffs at me and my plans. One day I'll show them what I can do. And it's not really like a super negative thing, but they're like an official lawman. I'm just like kind of a crazy person with this like little copper bauble. And then Dan, what's your character's name?
Papa.
Soppa, SOPPA.
Soppa. And Soppa has a pretty good head on their shoulders. They're a great sounding board for my ideas.
Do they have good on their shoulders?
Yes.
As far as I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he does. Yeah, he's done lots of stuff.
Tons even.
Tons of.
Yeah.
As far as I know, yeah, you're this. Yeah, you're actually this well connected, Dalfo person. So like, you can teach me how to take them down.
Yeah.
Soppa once constructed an entire suit of armor that was able to use explosions to fly, and it shot laser beams out of its hands. And
Mhm.
yeah, he took over and boarded a pirate ship and saved a bunch of captured civilians.
Fiona has a good head on their shoulders. For my ideas.
I would like to retract my previous statement.
I have changed that.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Those are mine. So, Christian, what you thinking now? Does that make your decision any easier?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Song. No, before he even said that, yeah, I think song is a little bit better fit there for now. Of course, this is we're all growing, learning characters, right? So
Yeah, in all honesty, I'm not really putting a whole lot of stock in this connections thing. The one thing I feel like as we're talking about this and we're learning about this game, the connections thing feels a little restrictive. I get why they're doing it because they want you to have existing relationships with the characters, so it's a little bit easier to build on this. But sometimes it feels a little restrictive.
Yeah,
but it's cool.
It's mechanically relevant for some of the playbooks, like Christian's. It's
Lodestar.
important for like one of his main moves.
Yeah, and then there's the Guardian who like specifically has a ward, and that's like a thing that's part of their character sheet.
Yeah.
But yeah, so don't yeah, I'm not going to take all this too serious. Like I said with mine, you scoffs at me. I'm like, yeah, you don't think I can be lawman? I can be lawman. You don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it sounds like everybody has introduced themselves.
I think
have
Ting
one more.
has one
You have
more
one more?
connection.
I do. It is, I recognize some of the pains felt inside of somebody, and I'm going to try to help them. And I'm going to say Sapa. I'm going to say Sapa. Whether that's a story he just told me, or whether it's actually true. I like to think that like he often regales me with different stories. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. Like let me help you through this. Like I understand pain as well.
These obvious lies.
So that's what I choose. And counterpoint counterpoint to you guys, I actually really like the connections because I don't know, to relate it to D&D just a little bit, there's like those like different like personality traits and like flaws and stuff, and they were always optional in D&D in my opinion, but I always thought it was good for somebody who doesn't really know how to role play, like help understand basics of role playing. So I like connection because it helps kind of spark the initial starting point for role play. And I think that's what this Avatar Legends, it's very loosey goosey, so it can be intimidating, and I think this kind of helps.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's a good take.
But I understand it. Yes, it is. It can be kind of guardraily a little bit. Yeah.
No, it's good to have a pro and con on as we're playing through these, so we can help people understand what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry for the interruption there.
No, you're good.
So where are we now, GM?
So
in terms of character creation,
we're done. We finished character creation. We finished campaign creation. We're all set to go. I mean, you guys have a couple like little decisions to make off camera about like the moves you pick and like your fighting technique and stuff, but that can all be handled over.
I actually have one that affects in-game stuff.
Yeah.
I have one of my moves is called Best Friend, and I have a small animal companion.
Oh,
that helps me push my luck. I have an iguana parrot.
Nice.
Which is a flying animal native to the Earth Kingdom.
I love it.
That's awesome.
Was that the parrot that the pirates had?
Yes. Yep.
Nice.
I went on to the Avatar fandom, and they have a list of the various fauna.
Yeah, that's how I picked my buffalo yak.
The canon ones.
No.
But if we're all set with characters, we can move on to like introducing the very beginnings of the campaign and kind of like setting the groundwork to what happens in session 1, if we're all good with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a couple questions we need to answer and kind of figure out as a group. We need connections to Ba Sing Se, Firebender, Rangi, and Meng Yao, and we already have some of those, but we kind of want to go over them more in depth. First question is, why are you all in Ba Sing Se? And that's pretty clear. Like, you all live here. You're locals.
I don't live here.
You're traveling through here. Yeah. You live in the
live
moment.
anywhere.
We get it.
Zari's there with his group with the representative, the ambassador.
Yeah. So the next thing is after the inciting incident happened, the characters as a group witnessed an important event involving Firebender Rangi in the lower ring of Ba Sing Se. What was it? And who else was involved? During this event, you as a group impressed Rangi with your skills. What did you do? And Rangi trusts the group to find the children and keep the situation peaceful. Why does she believe in them? So, after your guys' initial like come together moment, to like decide to better the city, something happened in the lower ring that Avatar Kyoshi's girlfriend witnessed. You're all together. You did something impressive that makes her think that you guys are the right crew for the job. Any ideas?
Maybe-
Anything you guys want to like throw
Yeah.
out there?
I mean, to me, it makes sense that if we're kind of going with this whole like, we've been dealing with the anti-corruption task force, right?
Mhm.
It makes sense that like there was another incident, where we saw like them shake down in like a stall merchant or something. And maybe it was a little bit more public than like the task force realized. And Firebender Rangi was about to step in before all of a sudden this group of like weirdos just steps in and is like, oh,
Yeah,
she's like, oh, cool. Maybe I'll just watch.
I like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Love that. Yeah.
we come in, we're like, hey, stop it right there! You'll get stopped by the what's our team name again?
Hey,
The neighborhood
Yeah.
watch.
Neighborhood
Yeah.
Watch.
the neighborhood watch.
Yeah,
The Revengers.
The
Uh,
Revengers.
the Rabbit Street to Dragon Street neighborhood
The
watch.
Knights of the night.
That's perfect.
We're having this discussion right in front of the anti-corruption task force.
Yeah, debating the name in front of everyone.
Hey, it's a critical, important part. All right, we have to have an identity. Have to be able to say our name so that when we have these moments, we're like, hey, not
Yeah.
not have everyone be confused. We
Yeah.
we got to figure this out, group.
Yeah.
Can Buffy be our mascot? Buffy the Corruption Slayer?
Well, what about
Buffy the Corruption Slayer. Yeah, you are. Just like ruffling her.
what about the iguana parrot though?
Secondary
Oh, no,
mascot. They're both
We kind
mascots.
of have two mascots. Yeah, I guess they did have.
He's part of the
Appa.
team. He doesn't have
Yeah.
to be a mascot. He's part of the
Yeah.
team.
Yeah, we do need two characters, one
Yeah.
one large animal and one smaller
Maybe
animal.
one
So
tiny
that
Yeah.
Yeah.
Need them.
So yeah, you guys
Um,
were chilling. Anti-corruption task force was about to do some bad stuff. Avatar Rangi saw it and was about to step in, but you guys blasted in ahead of her, handling the situation, and then everybody cheered, and then Avatar Rangi was like, "That's pretty dope." Next up is we have to
Can you
talk.
say everyone cheered again?
Everyone cheered.
Yeah.
There you go.
I hope the stream picked that up.
Yeah,
It should.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I love it. More of it.
More soundboard. That's what everybody's clamoring for. Everybody's clamoring
Yeah.
for more
Oh,
soundboard.
there we go. I openly outperformed an authority figure. Boom.
We're not playing yet.
Justin's
At zero, already growing.
25% of the way.
25% of the way to hero.
Killing his character.
Count it.
All right. Next up, we have to talk about Meng Yao. So Meng Yao
Yeah.
saved you guys during your inciting incident. You guys were all about to get arrested. She jumped in. But you made a new friend then. So Meng Yao, she helped you guys get out of a jam. What do you think she was up to when she was there, like witnessing? Like you guys had like followed and almost like were chilling at the anti-corruption, not headquarters, but like one of their local bases, and just kind of like happened to be around there. Like, what do you think she was doing there?
Buying cabbages.
She was just chilling, just having a normal day.
Just normal day.
I
Yeah,
think
right.
she was
Like,
doing
she's
more
actually- she's
anti-corruption.
presenting a
task
2-for-1
force.
coupon for cabbages, but it's expired. and she's being sheepish about it.
Okay. Yeah, so Meng Yao, she was just going about her day, doing normal stuff, and she catches wind of this. But over the course of like you guys knowing Meng Yao and like after this event happened, you kind of changed her principle to her current one of justice. So I know most of you player characters have like two different principles you're pulled between, but most NPCs only have one. And Meng Yao, she kind of gave up her organized crime days and is now focused on like on justice for the community and for the people. What do you think her old principle was? Like, what did you change her from?
What is the new principle? What's the new
Justice.
principle?
Justice.
Maybe
Um,
greed
Oh
yeah,
'cause
greed.
or
I'll say.
selfish.
Yeah.
Mm.
Justice and greed. Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
Meng Yao's old principle was greed.
Yeah.
Next, while you were with Meng Yao, you guys stopped her from stealing an important treasure. What do you think that treasure was? I know Ashley, your character was probably all in on stealing that treasure.
Yes.
But you guys all got all convinced her that it was a bad idea. What do you
Yeah.
think she was trying to steal?
A jade goblet used for a coronation ceremony long ago.
Whoa. I like that.
Why do you think she wanted it?
This is a jade goblet. It's worth money. Why?
It's
Why
just
take
cool, okay.
anything?
Prestige. Maybe
Because
there's
it's
prestige
awesome.
that come with it too. It'd be like, look in my house where I keep my jade goblet used for ceremonies.
Look at
Maybe
where
she
I
wants
keep
to
all
drink
my
out of it
nice
like a pimp cup.
things.
She wants the pimpinest cuppest around.
You know, this cup used to be used in old ceremonies.
Mhm.
Now, I drink hoosh out of it.
Yeah. At some point in your adventures with Meng Yao, you guys also helped find her like a safe place, like a hideout. New safe place to stay off the task force's maps. Where do you think that place is, and who owns it? Is it like a friend of yours, relative? Is it like somebody you know?
Oh,
Ooh. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
what you got, Spence?
No, I was gonna pull something from my history, but then I realized that my the person that I know is also a traveling nomad, Jin Jade. So,
Yeah, the location is probably still in Bossing, say.
so no, I don't think my person would work.
Maybe
It's
somewhere
my place. It's
underneath
my
the
house.
city.
It's my house, but I turned it into a makeshift jail because it's like I'm the sheriff.
Because you're vigilante.
Yeah.
Sheriff of these parts, right here.
Sounds like a kidnapper with extra steps.
What? That's true from a certain point of view,
Yep.
but not really true.
So yeah, Justin, you let her stay at your place when she needs to lay low.
Mm-hmm. It's a hovel. It's not nice.
Yep. Next up is with Meng Yao's help, you all made a sacrifice to protect the citizens of the lower ring from a threat. What was the threat? What was the sacrifice, and how did it inspire Meng Yao to change her principle?
Oh, Justin, you can cross another one off here.
Doesn't get to cross anything off yet.
Session 0.
Session 0. Session 0, and I'm halfway done.
Oh.
Can you repeat the prompt again, or the question?
Yeah, with her help, you all made a sacrifice to protect citizens of the lower ring from a threat. What was the threat? What was the sacrifice, and how did that inspire Meng Yao to change?
Mm.
Do you think the anti-corruption task force would be like double their efforts? I don't know. Maybe they're searching for us.
Maybe.
And they start hurting other people in the process. They're like, "All right, tell us where the knights of the neighborhood,
The Knights of the
Something.
Night!
the Rabbit Street, yeah, or we'll hurt all of you."
Tell us where that band of youngins are.
Well,
Yeah.
she's driven by greed at first, right? And then
Yes.
So what would make her shift over to being
Justice.
going for justice here? Like, can we just say that?
Oh,
like,
you know what? I
what if
took
we
a
sacrifice something to
I
the
have
flag?
earth armor, and I took one of them was an airbender, and I took the rock right to my rock armor, but it broke my rock armor, almost killed me, knocked me right out.
Okay. Christian, you were going to say something?
It was a kill shot.
I don't know. Well, I was just saying, like, well, with this situation, like, I feel like there would have to be consequence for it to like change, right? But if we definitively save the day, then I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
I
like
guess
we might
whatever
need
we
some kind of like,
sacrifice might be just, you know.
yeah, we need some kind of like Pyrrhic victory, almost. Not like an outright
Oh,
win.
like the thing bounced off my armor and struck a bystander.
Oh no!
It was a little kid.
Oh
Little
no!
girl.
Oh no!
Dan, do you have
Well,
any ideas?
okay. Yeah.
We accidentally, as we were getting away, smashed as we were confronting, smashed a cabbage stand.
My coupon.
Yeah,
Coupon was useless now.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, my cabbages.
Not sure how that would convince a greedy thief to turn a new leaf and focus on justice.
Right.
Okay.
My livelihood's been
he-
ruined. There's no social safety nets.
I mean, what was
So
she
she-
also in the? I mean, is it possible that she was also in the market when we ran into Firebender Rangi?
That could be part of it.
Or-
That could all be one
I
thing.
mean, like one event, right? Where
Mhm.
like there are two different parties acting individually that saw us, and we just were approached by them at two different times.
Mhm.
Is my thought, but I mean, I know that's a little bit more bland than.
Yeah,
what
I
we
mean, like
probably want.
maybe she was planning on using like the chaos to do a little bit of a thievery, like to maybe take
Mhm.
advantage of it. But she saw you guys like step up, to not like take advantage of the situation and like make things better. And that's
Yeah.
kind of
Right.
what inspired her
Mhm.
to.
Inspired her.
What if it's like the Jedi Padawan situation where she was like training little children, and and whoever just like took them out, but we saved the city, but like she lost her trainees.
Yeah, maybe. Okay.
So
Going
she
off of that-
decides to get revenge
We
slash
needed a
justice
sacrifice.
for them.
I suggested innocent bystander.
So going off of
These
that,
are the innocent bystanders. They're the 5-10-year-olds.
Yep, the 5-10-year-olds.
And she's the 150-year-old.
oh my god. So going off of that, yeah. So maybe like the anti-corruption task force called like guards away from like I don't know, like a safe, like a bank or something, like a protecting something. So she went to go do that, but then like found out that her trainees were being attacked by the anti-corruption task force searching for us, and then we stepped up and we're like, no, we're gonna stop you. So maybe that changed her heart because she saw us standing up for the citizens, because she's a Daofei. She's kind of like a gangster, and at some point I like to think that there's like protecting her family and other people, and especially the students she trained, is pretty important to her. So that's, she saw us protecting, well, maybe not all the students survived, but we protected most of them.
Did you?
Yeah, I would
is
say.
there like a sacrifice that you really made during that? No, because the part of what
Like turning ourselves in.
we would need to do a whole other thing about how you got out.
We still have a dead innocent child.
But how is that a sacrifice you made as a group? You killing a child isn't making a
I have to-
sacrifice.
I have to
Sacrificing someone
the
is
guilt.
different from making a sacrifice. I know
Alright,
the words are
Justin,
similar.
Justin's Iguana parents gotta go here.
Oh no! Session 0
Not Snowball.
dies.
and then
Wait,
we'll have
Justin,
Snowball too.
wait,
Yes.
can we get all of your goals done before this? And then you could sacrifice yourself and create a new character. It's perfect.
It's perfect.
It's perfect with a whole other set of. He plays the bold again.
I save her life, save a friend's life. That's actually on there. Bam, taken out.
But I mean, like going off of that, did we have another companion that maybe died in the process, or should we not
Defended an
count that?
inhabited place from a dire threat. Oh no, I got one more. Oh, or maybe I just died.
It is your sacrifice. Wait,
He's
if you
just
die at the time that you complete a goal, can you? Does that work? I mean, sure, right? You die, so either way, you have to agree.
Song Ize, yeah, and then later his brother, Song Izu, comes. But you can just call me Song.
I like to think that like some of my principles are like, so my never turn my back, it's never strike the first blow, never deny a request for help, and never leave a friend behind. And maybe like the sacrifice that I made was we didn't step up quick enough, and maybe some other people did get hurt that we befriended or made friends with. Do you think that's a good sacrifice, Dalton?
So that's not you making a sacrifice. Again, that's you putting other people in jeopardy. Like you as a character didn't sacrifice anything in that situation. You just made a mistake.
Okay.
In my
Well,
opinion, like how
what
I
if-
interpret the word sacrifice, and like making a narrative sacrifice. Like this is something that Meng Yao is seeing and makes her want to turn over a new leaf.
Mm.
Can you give us examples of things to sacrifice?
What if I wait, hey, how about this, Dalton? What if I, as my like learned combat technique, get rid of the earth armor and choose detect the heavy step instead, and the blow knocked me blind, so I can't see anymore.
If you want to do that, like you put your like that would be something I could see as a sacrifice. Like you
put yourself in danger
like, yeah,
for
you
someone
like
else.
actively put yourself in danger to protect something else and protect people. Like that's definitely something that seems sacrificey and could make a criminal turn over a new leaf.
Yeah,
I think
let's do that.
they
got me one.
some
I'm
of
blind now.
like the trainees probably still die. So like there were still losses, but overall, like yeah, he was able to save most of them.
Yeah, I will say like narratively, Avatar doesn't really like dealing with like death and like people like actively dying on screen like that because it is kind of like a more of a kid's property, and doing a whole massacre of some kids doesn't like fit vibes.
Yeah.
You know,
So like they
Let's
can
just
get
do the thing.
they can
I'm,
get
I'm
hurt.
blind now. I sacrificed my sight, so this is going to have weird narrative consequences.
And how about my glider gets messed up? Like they smash my glider.
Yes, during the fray, your glider got smashed, so now you can't do
so
one
I
of the
can't
coolest
just fly.
airbender things.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like maybe like this situation like where the task force was coming in, they were cracking down on some people, and they were about to do some pretty heavy violence, and you guys were the people that rushed in and got in the way, and kind of like took the blows and stones that were being thrown at some innocents, and maybe Meng Yao saw that, and like she was ready to like take advantage of the situation and chaos and maybe like do some thievery, but saw you guys actually step up and do the right thing, and put your guys' self in danger to protect those around you instead of victimizing them further. And that kind of like is what she saw and wants to like be a better person.
Emulate.
Yeah. Does that make sense for everybody?
Hmm.
I'm good with that.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Well then next session when we have it, I don't think it's next weekend because next weekend is Mother's Day or something.
No, it's not Mother's Day, but
What is the holiday?
it's not a holiday. We just couldn't do it.
Oh, okay.
Justin and I will both separately be in different parts of Florida.
That's right.
Yep.
true.
So we will keep social channels updated when the next session is going to occur. Unless I think it's. Do we know?
It
when
should
it's
be the week
happening?
after.
Week after the April 7th or May 7th.
May 7th.
Cool. All right, you guys can meet us back here May 7th, where Avatar Rangi gets a hold of what was your team name again?
It's
Knights
super
of
long.
the Night.
Yep. She
Knights?
gets in contact with the Knights of the Night and
I thought it
informs
was
you
Neighborhood
that
Watch.
some children have been kidnapped and they need to be found. Otherwise, bad interpersonal relationships between kingdoms or whatever. Because it's bad look for
Whatever.
firebender kids to get kidnapped in the Earth Nation.
That's
Diplomatic
fine.
incident.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yep.
It's fine. Right.
All right.
It's fine.
Well, looking forward to it, everybody. Make sure if you have any questions about any of your characters or the rules between sessions, let me know and we can help finalize some stuff. But I think that went really well. I'm very
If
excited.
there's anybody watching who has questions, pop it in the chat.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, thanks, Blix Phantom.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
As always, check us out on our YouTube channel, where we upload highlights and how-tos.
Yep, we'll be uploading some highlights from our last Call of Cthulhu, Cats of Cthulhu, and Frankenstein's Little Monsters. Was that the name of it?
Frankenstein's failed creation.
experiments.
Yeah, failed
Frankenstein's
experiment.
creations. Yeah, we'll be uploading some highlights from those soon, and you can already look at a whole bunch of Dungeons and Dragons shenanigans from one of our prior campaigns on our YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I don't think we have any
any other
questions in chat.
attributions?
I mean,
Acknowledgements.
shouts out to Magpie Games for publishing Avatar Legends. Shout out to Team Avatar who invented the property and the world. Shout out to Roll20 for giving us a little virtual tabletop. I could keep naming stuff. Shout outs to Discord for giving us a cool free way to video chat online. Shouts out to OBS for letting me capture and stream easily. Shouts out to Microsoft for making Notepad so I could type out notes. Shouts out to
PDF.
PDFs. I'm not shouting out Adobe. I'm not shouting them out. Shouts out to Foxit PDF Reader, the PDF reader I use. I'm trying to fill time. We're good to sign off whenever if anybody doesn't have any questions.
Shouts out to the single mothers, just because.
All right.
You know, it's hard out there.
Yep. Shouts out to Mozilla.
Thank you for
Firefox.
that.
All right, everybody. Thank you for hanging out. Thanks for playing. I'm excited for our future campaign. See you guys in a couple weeks.
Yeah. See you then.
See y'all.
Thanks for watching.